Chapter 296. How did Big Brother become Jean again? He had changed his last name, but she knew very well that no matter what his last name was, he was still her big brother. But what was going on now? Did he already have a new sister? I'm fine. Jean Hausa stopped her, pulled his hand out seemingly inadvertently, and turned to look at Lu Xiangyu's husband, who was still on the ground. Lu Xiangyu's husband struggled to stand up. At this time, several doctors quickly stopped him together and did not allow him to make any further movements. Only Jean Hausa noticed that Lu Xiangyu's husband seemed to be staring at Su Qingsang. He couldn't help but look at Su Qingsang. She was Hua Jinyao's wife. He didn't attend the banquet held by Tianyu Group a few days ago, but he was quite clear about what happened at the banquet. Maybe he should do Hua Jinyao a favor? Brother Hausa? Chun Feifei noticed that Jean Hausa was looking at Shi Mengwan, and she suddenly became nervous. After all, she also recognized Su Qingsang and knew that she had a husband. So Jean Hausa could only be looking at Shi Mengwan? She glanced at Shi Mengwan, and just a glance made her have a sense of crisis. The woman in front of her was very beautiful, gorgeous, but not flamboyant, and there was a faint firmness in her eyes. She bit her lip and held Jean Hausa's arm tightly. Brother Hausa, I'm a little uncomfortable. Why don't we go back first? Jean Hausa lowered his head and looked at Chun Feifei. Today was the day that he took her to the hospital for a routine checkup. He didn't want to do anything about Lu Xiangyu's husband's trouble, but he saw that the person who was beaten was Su Qingsang, so he intervened. To Chun Feifei's surprise, Jean Hausa didn't agree immediately. He turned to look at Lu Xiangyu's husband, who had just been punched by him and was struggling to stand up. You dare to hit me? I'm going to call the police. Call the police. Shi Mengwan was furious. She couldn't bear to see her best friend being bullied. You don't need to call the police. We will call the police too. She was very imposing. Jean Hausa glanced at her and noticed the indignation in her eyes. Naturally, he also recognized that this woman was the one who mistook him for someone else last time. Do you think I don't dare to call the police? Lu Xiangyu's husband's attitude was still arrogant, but because of Jean Hausa's existence, he was somewhat afraid. Su Qingsang's stomach was still hurting. She endured the pain and stood up straight, staring at Lu Xiangyu's husband. Sir, please don't be unreasonable. Your wife has indeed been discharged from the hospital, but she is not here. She has already paid the hospitalization fees, and the procedures were done according to the normal procedures. You can leave now. If you don't, we can only ask the security to escort you out. In fact, the security guards had finally arrived. Seeing that Lu Xiangyu's husband still wanted to continue, they restrained him together. What happened next was much easier. Everyone saw Lu Xiangyu's husband hit Su Qingsang. Su Qingsang insisted on taking him to the police station. You guys attacked too. Why are you sending me to the police station? Sorry, I'm not from the hospital. Jean Hausa looked at Lu Xiangyu's husband and said in a slightly cold voice, If you want to sue me, I'll accompany you anytime. Lu Xiangyu's husband still wanted to say something, but he was shocked by the look in Jean Hausa's eyes. He didn't dare to say anything, and the security took him away. Shi Mengwan kept looking at him, her heart beating like a drum. Chapter 297. Su Qingsang noticed Shi Mengwan's gaze and also saw Chun Feifei, who had been looking at Jean Hausa nervously. She rolled her eyes and took a step forward to stand in front of Jean Hausa, coincidentally blocking most of Shi Mengwan's sight. Mr. Jean, thank you so much for today. Mrs. Hua, you're welcome. President Hua and I are friends. Jean Hausa's expression was indifferent, but Su Qingsang sensed something different. Friends? How could they not be friends? No matter what, I still have to thank you. I'll tell Hua Jinyao. Jean Hausa nodded, knowing that Su Qingsang had accepted his favor. He was satisfied. Okay, since there's nothing else, I'll leave first. Take care, Mr. Jean. Su Qingsang saw Jean Hausa off and turned around to find Shi Mengwan still looking in that direction. A few nurses and doctors came up to care about Su Qingsang's injury. Su Qingsang waved her hand, indicating that she was fine. After everyone left, she stood in front of Shi Mengwan and waved. Mengwan? Qingsang. Shi Mengwan finally looked away after Jean Hausa left. When she met Su Qing-sang's penetrating gaze, she awkwardly averted her gaze and quickly went to pick up the bag that she had dropped. "You're not going to the competition? You're back?" "Yes." "Guess what the result of my competition was?" Sherman Wan's eyes were obviously proud when she spoke. Su Qing-sang smiled. "Result? Guess the bottom? You're so annoying." Sherman Wan pushed her. "Be gentle. I'm injured now." Su Qing-sang covered her abdomen with a pained expression. "Are you okay? Let me help you back to the office to rest." "Okay. Thank you, designer sure." "Yes. You have to call me that in the future. I won 2 awards this time." "Really?" "Of course it's true. The Best Creative Award and the 2nd place in the finals." "Not bad." This competition was national and had a great influence. Sherman Wan was still very young. Although she didn't win 1st place, it was already very good to win 2nd place. "Not bad, right? I bought you a gift to celebrate." "Thank you." Su Qing-sang went back to the office with Sherman Wan. Zhao Hongchan, who had just finished his surgery, heard that Su Qing-sang had been beaten and hurried over. When he saw Sherman Wan, there were many things he couldn't say. In the end, he only left behind some external medicine. "You're not bad." Sherman Wan watched as Zhao Hongchan left with a disappointed look on his face. "She's already a married woman. Why is the market still so good?" As she spoke, Sherman Wan didn't forget to close the door and gestured for Su Qing-sang to take off her clothes so that she could help her apply the medicine. Damn, a married woman is also a beautiful married woman. Su Qing-sang was lying on the examination bed with a mischievous look on her face. However, when Sherman Wan's hand touched her stomach, she couldn't help but let out an ah. Yes, a beautiful married woman with a bruise. TSK, I couldn't tell. Being a doctor is a high-risk occupation. Did you just find out? Su Qing-sang looked at her helplessly. He told her about Lu Xiangyu. Sherman Wan was so furious that she was about to explode. "This kind of scum? Why do you care about him? We should have called the police and arrested him." "Don't worry. He'll be in jail for at least 15 days. Sherman Wan didn't say anything else. She helped Su Qing-sang apply the medicine and spoke casually. Chapter 298. The one just now? Which one? Su Qing-sang looked at her and didn't give her the answer. "You." Sherman Wan tightened her grip. "You know the answer. Be gentle. Be gentle. Are you trying to murder me?" Su Qing-sang couldn't stand it anymore. Seeing the anticipation and eagerness in Sherman Wan's eyes, she couldn't help but tell her. "I don't know either, but when I went out with Hu Jinyao last time, I happened to meet him. I heard that his surname is Zhang. He seems to be from a good family." "Oh." Sherman Wan relaxed her grip and looked at Su Qing-sang, obviously hoping that she would continue. "I really don't know much." Su Qing-sang couldn't bear to see her friend like this. "But I do know one thing." "What?" "The woman next to him is his fiancée." Sherman Wan's hand stopped. She lowered her head and didn't look at Su Qing-sang. Su Qing-sang didn't know what expression she had now. "Meng Wan, I'm fine." Sherman Wan didn't want to talk about it anymore. "So he's engaged?" "Yes." Su Qing-sang listened to her disappointed voice and couldn't bear it. She reached out and patted her on the shoulder. "Meng Wan, let's forget about it. Whether he is your big brother or not, he's going to get married now. But he's going to get married now, or he is already married." How could Sherman Wan not understand Su Qing-sang's words? It had been more than 10 years since they parted. Anything could change. It was understandable that dear brother had another woman by his side. However, she stopped applying medicine, pulled up Su Qing-sang's clothes, and put her face on Su Qing-sang's legs. I know. But Qing-sang, he promised to marry me." Su Qing-sang couldn't say anything. Perhaps because she had Hu Jinyao now, she suddenly understood Sherman Wan's feelings. She sighed in her heart, reached out her hand, and patted her back. "Meng Wan, I asked Hu Jinyao to introduce you to a better man, right? Is that okay?" Hu Jinyao's childhood friends were all very outstanding. Maybe Sherman Wan would slowly let go after meeting a new outstanding man. Sherman Wan suddenly raised her head and quickly stood up. "You said it. I'm waiting." Sherman Wan didn't want her friend to worry, so she put away all her emotions. Su Qing-sang knew that she wouldn't let John Hausa go so easily, so she didn't mention it again. You're back. I have something to tell you. It wasn't convenient to talk about these things over the phone, but now there was a chance. What? Su Qing-sang told Shi Mingwan about Xiang Kaiping. Shi Mingwan looked as if she was listening to a story. Are you sure you're not filming a TV show? Shoot a TV show? She wanted to as well. However, it really isn't. Shi Mingwan opened her mouth wide, and in the end, she hooked her arm with a gossipy look on her face. Well, can I visit your mother? What are you talking about? What did he mean by cheap mother? I didn't say anything wrong. Shi Mingwan's perspective was different from Su Qing-sang's. I didn't raise you or take care of you. When you're this old, you suddenly appear out of nowhere and pick up such a good daughter, Mingwan. Su Qing-sang knew that Shi Mingwan was thinking too much. She was probably thinking of a conspiracy. I've been with her for a few days, and I think she can be trusted. Hu Jinyao had the same opinion as her. If you say so, then I have to go see her. Then wait for me to get off work. Chapter 299. Other than Zhuangshun, the hospital leaders and the department director had also come over to show concern before she got off work. They had even asked her if she wanted to take a day off. Su Qing-sang couldn't stand the caring gazes and decided to leave work early. When she got home, Hu Jinyao hadn't come back yet. Xiang Kaiping was very happy to see Shi Mingwan. Her daughter had a good husband and good friends, so she was very warm to Shi Mingwan. Hu Jinyao had to work overtime again today. She didn't know what he was busy with during this time. Su Qing-sang was used to him going out to socialize from time to time. Shi Mingwan realized that Xiang Kaiping was not bad. She could tell that her mother-daughter love for Su Qing-sang was genuine. After dinner, Xiang Kaiping was in a hurry to clean up. Shi Mingwan patted Su Qing-sang's arm. According to my appraisal, there's nothing suspicious. That's enough. You can tell just by having a meal. That's a must. Your eyes can't lie. If Xiang Kaiping wasn't Su Qing-sang's biological mother, she could only say that her acting skills were too good. However, Shi Mingwan had dealt with many people over the years. Of course, she could tell that Xiang Kaiping wasn't acting just now. She really wanted to be nice to Su Qing-sang. I think so too. The more time they spent together, the more Su Qing-sang understood Xiang Kaiping. She reckoned that it wouldn't be too long until the day she called her mother. It was only a matter of time. Hu Jinyao didn't notice the wound on Su Qing-sang's abdomen until she took a shower that night. Although the medicine was applied, the bruise was still there. It was such a big piece. Hu Jinyao frowned and looked up at Su Qing-sang. Don't tell me you accidentally bumped into it. Hu Jinyao, who had once lived a free and unrestrained life, could, of course, tell that the wound was caused by a fist. I was just about to tell you that it was a collision. Su Qing-sang didn't think it was a big deal. She didn't want Xiang Kaiping to worry, so she didn't say anything. Who did it? Hu Jinyao was not in the mood to joke with her. His eyes were a little cold. Su Qing-sang didn't know whether to laugh or cry at his reaction. What are you doing? You know who did it. Don't tell me you still want to help me fight back. So, you were beaten by someone? Hu Jinyao nodded and stared at the large bruise. Tell me, who did it? Don't be like this. I'm fine now. Su Qing-sang looked down at the wound. It was still a little bruised. Her skin was fair, so such a big bruise looked a little scary. It's true. I feel much better after applying the ointment. I'm fine now. Don't make a fuss. I'm making a fuss. Hu Jinyao narrowed his eyes. Tell me who did it first, and I won't make a fuss. I'm really fine. Su Qing-sang was a little helpless, so she briefly told him what had happened to Lu Xiangyu. Speaking of which, I'm also unlucky. It just so happened that he was Lu Xiangyu's previous attending doctor. Don't worry, he's already been sent to the police station. He's fine now. Was he really all right? Hu Jinyao thought of something else. Did that person come for you, or for the others? Speaking of this, Su Qing-sang began to feel that something was wrong. Speaking of which, there were quite a lot of people at that time. It was very chaotic. She didn't know whether it was because of her or something else. Chapter 300. That might not be the case. Hu Jinyao thought a little more than she did. He thought another thing. Did you say that Zhang Haoze helped you? Yes. Su Qing-sang thought of Zhang Haoze and Shi Mengwan. If it weren't for him, I might have been hit a few more times. Maybe I should treat him to a meal next time? I got it. Don't worry about it. Hu Jinyao wasn't like Su Qing-sang. Zhang Haoze was obviously trying to be nice to him. The project that Tanya Group was doing with the Li family and the Chiu family was not a small one. Many companies in Lin City were eyeing it. Although Zhang Haoze didn't want a share of the profits, it didn't mean that he wouldn't want such an opportunity in the future. His ambition was not small. He put this matter aside for now. He was more concerned about Su Qing-sang. Does it hurt? Hu Jinyao gently stroked the bruise. There was pain in his eyes, as well as a flash of viciousness. No matter whether the other party did it on purpose or not, he wouldn't let it go. It hurts. Su Qing-sang admitted it openly. It really hurts. When I was hit in the afternoon, I felt like my stomach was going to explode. Do you dare to do it again? Hu Jinyao raised his head and looked at her. What do you mean by do I dare to do it again? As the attending physician, I had to explain the situation to the family. Did he listen to you? It's his business that he didn't listen to you. That's not my responsibility, is it? Su Qing-sang saw that he was still angry, so she put her arms around his neck and said, All right, I'll be more careful next time. Okay, do you want to do it again? Hu Jinyao was amused by her words. Yes, it's not your responsibility, but don't you realize that every time something happens, you're always the first to do it? There are so many people in your hospital. Why are you always the first to get into trouble? Zhang Mei, Li Rongrong, and now Lu Xiangyu were all in his mind. Even if Li Rongrong wasn't mentioned, the other two people were kind enough to save people. Why didn't they end up well in the end? Su Qing-sang was speechless. What happened today was really an accident. Normally, most patients are very reasonable with their families. Most of them, it's enough that you met one. Hu Jinyao looked at the wound on her abdomen. No matter how he looked at it, it was an eyesore. I only hit your stomach this time. Where else will I hit next time? For example, a slap on the face or the head. What if he gets hurt? Don't curse me. Wife, I'm not cursing you. I'm telling you that you don't have to rush into some things. There's so many people in your hospital, and there are many male doctors, right? Don't stand out next time. There are a lot of male doctors, but there are even more female gynecologists. You think you're right, don't you? Hu Jinyao was annoyed by her and reached out to pinch her face. It hurts. Su Qing-sang looked at him, feeling a little wronged. It hurts so much. I'll let you die from the pain. Hu Jinyao was furious, but he still let go of her and applied the ointment for her. He looked very angry, but his movements were very gentle. For some reason, Su Qing-sang felt very comfortable looking at him. His hand was hot, warm against her stomach. For some reason, Su Qing-sang felt a lot better. All right. Hu Jinyao withdrew his hand. You sleep for a while. I'm going to wash my hands. He went to the bathroom to wash his hands, but he didn't rush out. Instead, he took out his phone and pressed a few numbers. Chapter 301. When Hu Jinyao returned to the room, there was no trace of emotion on his face. He walked to the bed and sat down. His eyes fell on Su Qing-sang's face. She had been frowning and looked like she was in pain, but now she was playing with her phone again. Hu Jinyao glanced at it and found that Su Qing-sang was chatting with Shi Mengwan. When he came back, Shi Mengwan had already left. So, Hu Jinyao didn't know that Shi Mengwan had been there. He lay down on the bed and wrapped his arms around Su Qing-sang's waist. Hu Jinyao's voice sounded in her ear. Chatting with Shi Mengwan. Yes, Shi Mengwan had something that was inconvenient to say just now, but now she could say it. She reminded him of something that he hadn't even noticed. Su Qing-sang actually vaguely knew about it, but she had been so busy recently and was shocked by Xiang Caiping's sudden appearance that she had forgotten about it. Omega, what are you talking about? Su Qing-sang pulled his hand away from her waist. Although he didn't touch her wound was a little bit below. She reminded me that I must be careful not to let Annie see my father or other members of the Su family. If she really saw them, there would be trouble. Jinyao nodded. On this matter, his attitude was the same as Shi Mengwan's. She's right. It's better not to. I know. Su Qing-sang nodded and held Hu Jinyao's hand. I hinted to Annie. She actually knew it. She wasn't particularly worried about running into them. The Su family's villa was nearly an hour's drive from here, and the Li Corporation was very far from here. During the time that Xiang Kaiping had been here, her activities were basically around here. She must have known it. That's good, but it's still better to be safe. If we really run into them, I'm afraid there will be trouble. If Su Qinghui's feelings for Xiang Kaiping had been so deep, he might have done something. If that happened, the Li family wouldn't let it go so easily. Especially Li Qinxue and Su Peijian. That can't be helped. Su Qingsang sighed. My mother came from so far away. I can't drive her away. She should be living with me from now on. I also thought that they might run into each other sooner or later. When the time comes, we'll have to deal with whatever comes our way. Hu Jinyao didn't say anything. If that day really came, he would naturally protect his woman and Xiang Kaiping. He wouldn't give his Su family or the Li family a chance to cause trouble. Hu Jinyao looked at the email on the screen with a sharp look in his eyes. Su Peijian? She sure had guts. How dare they touch his people? He tapped the table with his fingertips. He wondered if Su Peijian had done it alone, or did Li Qinxue have a part in it? Li Qinxue knew that Xiang Kaiping was back. Was he trying to make Su Qingsang leave the hospital? No, this didn't seem like Li Qinxue's actions. It seemed more like something an impulsive and brainless person like Su Peijian would do. If you wanted to know, it was very simple. He just had to make a trip to the Su family. However, Hu Jinyao pressed the internal line. His voice was a little cold. Make some trouble for the Li group. After all, we're still working together. As Hu Jinyao expected, Su Chenghui showed up in less than 2 days. Jinyao, what do you mean by this? Hu Jinyao was considered a junior, and Su Chenghui called him by his name in private. Hu Jinyao glanced at the secretary behind Su Chenghui and waved at her, signaling for her to leave. Chapter 302. What do you think? Su Chenghui was a little annoyed. It's not a big deal, but our two families are cooperating now. Don't you think it's a little unkind of you to do this? The Su family was a respectable family in Lin City, but Hu Jinyao was different. Just because the new mayor, Li Junsheng, was a childhood friend, he actually wanted to trip him up? Although the movement was very small, fortunately, he discovered it in time. Otherwise, the consequences would have been somewhat serious. Unkind? I don't think it's me who's unkind, but you? What do you mean? Su Chenghui didn't understand. Hu Jinyao didn't try to be polite with him. He directly put the things he had prepared in front of Su Chenghui. Su Chenghui picked it up and glanced at it. Soon, his expression changed. This is impossible. Peijian would never do such a thing. Hu Jinyao stared at the certainty on Su Chenghui's face and suddenly leaned forward a little. Dad, is Qingsang really your daughter? Su Chenghui looked at Hu Jinyao and seemed a little angry that he had asked such a question. What are you talking about? Of course, Qingsang is my daughter. Really? Hu Jinyao nodded and looked at the annoyed look on Su Chenghui's face. Sometimes I wonder if Qingsang is really your daughter. Otherwise, how could you be so biased? So, are you trying to avenge Su Qingsang? You can even play around with such a cooperation case? So what? Hu Jinyao raised his eyebrows and leaned back in his chair. I have money. No matter how much he earned, it was just a number. But he only has one wife. Su Chenghui took a deep breath. He didn't believe that his son-in-law would be so casual. Hu Jinyao, aren't you afraid that you'll have to explain to the board of directors? If I can't even protect my own wife, how can I help Director Namu earn more money? I think they'll understand. Su Chenghui didn't say anything. He nodded heavily and said, What do you want? I don't have the habit of hitting women. Since we are relatives, I can forget about the company's matter. But Su Peijian, I don't want to let this go. If she had to blame someone, she could only blame Su Peijian for being too blind and making a move on his people. Peijian is Qingsang's older sister. Is that so? Does she see Qingsang as a sister? Hu Jinyao was angry at Su Chenghui's bias. President Su, Mr. Su, let me remind you, Su Peijian is your daughter, and so is Su Qingsang. During this period of time, because of their cooperation, the two families had become closer than before. Su Chenghui was his elder, so Hu Jinyao had to respect him. It was the first time he had seen Hu Jinyao being so rude. Then what do you want? You're not thinking of beating Peijian up, are you? How is that possible? I told you I don't hit women. Hit Su Peijian? That would be too easy. I want her to come and apologize. Impossible. Su Qinghui knew his daughter's personality very well. Asking Su Peijian to apologize to Su Qingsang was like asking for her life. Then there's nothing to talk about. Hua Jinyao spread his hands with some regret. If that's the case, then I can only continue with the small punishment I'm giving the Li group. Hua Jinyao. Su Changhui stood up in anger. You can't be so willful. Sorry, I'm just that willful. Hua Jinyao knew all too well what people like Su Peijian cared about. If he didn't make her lose face, how could he make her feel pain? Chapter 303. I'm sorry. That's all I want. No other conditions. Su Chenghui felt a throbbing pain in his forehead. He stared at Hua Jinyao and couldn't believe that he was really so willful. Look, Qingsang is fine. Besides, this was caused by the patient's family. Don't tell me that a small quarrel between children is going to escalate to our company and affect our cooperation. No, this is not a small fight, Hua Jinyao corrected him. Maybe you didn't see Qingsang's injury. It's a big bruise. It makes my heart ache to see it. I don't have any other good points, but I'm very protective. I'm super protective. You don't have to say more. If you have time to talk to me here, why don't you go and persuade Su Peijian to apologize to Qingsang? Su Qinghui knew that there was no turning back. He was extremely annoyed. Hua Jinyao, is this your idea or Qingsang's? My idea is Qingsang's idea. Hua Jinyao wasn't afraid that he would be unhappy. In fact, you should be glad that Mrs. Su didn't participate in this. Otherwise, it wouldn't have been so easy. Good, very good. Su Qinghui was angry. He turned around and left without looking back. Hua Jinyao believed that Su Chenghui was a smart man. It was up to him what to do next. When he got home, he found Su Qingsang, Xiang Kaiping, and Sister Lu in the kitchen. He didn't know what they were talking about, but they were laughing happily. Hua Jinyao smiled and looked in the direction of the kitchen. This was a completely different environment from the Hua mansion. It was full of the smoke and fire of the mortal world. There was no big house, no group of servants to keep the house spotless, and no servants would be afraid to speak loudly because Lu Tongjiao was at home. But this feeling was more like a home with a human touch. Huh, you're back. Su Qingsang saw him standing there from the corner of her eye. She washed her hands and came out. Guess what we're doing today? Making dumplings. Yuck, you saw it. No, I smelled it. He smelled the strong smell of chives as soon as he came in. Su Qingsang said, You don't eat chives, do you? No, that's good. Su Qingsang smiled and said casually, You should know that chives are good for your health, especially for men. You should eat more of them. She didn't realize what she had said, but Hua Jinyao narrowed his eyes and looked at her back. Strong sungrass? She really dared to say it. Su Qingsang would know the consequences of saying the wrong thing at night, but she didn't know now. The three women were almost done wrapping the dumplings. They just needed to boil the dumplings. Su Qingsang suggested that Sister Lu stay for dinner as well since there weren't many people there. After he was done, he didn't forget to bring a plate to Sister Wang next door. When they returned, the four of them sat around the dining table. Come, have some dumplings. Xiang Kaiping was really happy today. She stood up and scooped some dumplings for them. Annie, take a seat. We'll do it ourselves. I'm fine. Xiang Kaiping had been in Lin City for almost half a month. His complexion was much better than when he first arrived. Firstly, he was in a good mood. Secondly, this was his homeland after all. He was more used to staying here. Now that his daughter and son-in-law were by his side, she was very satisfied. You have to eat more too. You've worked hard at work. Su Qingsang put a dumpling into Hua Jinyao's bowl. She did it casually and didn't notice that Hua Jinyao's eyes darkened. Chapter 304. Su Qingsang was in a good mood after eating dumplings. She watched Sister Lu and Xiang Kaiping clean up the dishes and sat with Xiang Kaiping for a while. They both had to work during the day and were busy with their own things. Xiang Kaiping was bored at home alone. Although Su Qingsang taught Xiang Kaiping how to use electronic devices, such as mobile phones and tablets, She found that Xiang Kaiping was not very interested in them. At night, Su Qing-sang was about to take a shower, but Hu Jinyao had already followed her into the bathroom. You want a shower? Yes. Hu Jinyao nodded. Su Qing-sang put the clothes away and stood aside. Then you can shower first. No, honey. Hu Jinyao put his arm around Su Qing-sang's waist as he spoke. We can shower together. No. Su Qing-sang knew Hu Jinyao very well in this aspect. If she showered with him, it would not be a simple shower. Hu Jinyao didn't pay attention to what she said. Instead, he brought her body to stand under the shower. I think it's necessary. What do you want? Su Qing-sang was shocked by his gaze. Ever since they had sex, the two of them could be considered to be in sync in some aspects. It was because she was too weak and Hu Jinyao was too strong. The two of them were not on the same wavelength. The two of them were quite cooperative, so Su Qing-sang hadn't seen Hu Jinyao's wolf-like eyes for a long time. Honey, you actually asked me to eat more chives today. And then, Su Qing-sang tried to stand aside. Is there a problem? You said that chives are for a strong day. Hu Jinyao narrowed his eyes slightly. Looking at Su Qing-sang's confused expression, he hugged her body tightly. Honey, I didn't know until today that you were so dissatisfied with my previous performance. I didn't. Su Qing-sang finally understood. She was anxious to explain, but Hu Jinyao did not give her a chance. He used the whole night to prove that he was very healthy and that he did not need to eat chives at all. Su Qing-sang wanted to cry, but had no tears. She watched Hu Jinyao easily control her with his strong arms. Do I need to eat chives? She even asked him to eat more. Was he too bold? No. Su Qing-sang's clothes were gone. Are you sure I need a strong day? No. Do you think there's something wrong with my body? No problem. Let me go. Hu Jinyao didn't let go of her. If he didn't hear Su Qing-sang's soft and heavy voice ringing in the bathroom, I won't say it again. Stop. I won't say it again. Stop. Stop. No. Jerk. Stop. Don't come again. That. Qing-sang. When Su entered the hospital, Su Qing-sang's chun. She gritted her teeth and cursed Hu Jinyao in her heart. However, that couldn't alleviate her current condition. Today, she even came here in Hu Jinyao's car. Fortunately, there were no surgeries in the morning and only routine ward rounds. Su did not have surgery either. He had just sent a pregnant woman off in the afternoon when he saw Su Peijin standing at the door of his office. Su Qing-sang was stunned for a moment. She didn't think that Su Peijin's visit was a good thing. She looked around and finally closed the office door. Su Qing-sang looked at Su Peijin, a little wary of her appearance. What's the matter? Su Peijin stood there. Her face was dark. Chapter 305. Su Peijin was the pride of the world. She grew up surrounded by stars. She came from a good family, was beautiful, and had a high education. Regardless of which aspect it was enough to surpass most ordinary people. She always had a sense of superiority, especially in front of an illegitimate daughter like Su Qing-sang. She felt that Su Qing-sang was incomparable to her. However, she never thought that one day she would have to bow her head in front of Su Qing-sang. And all this was just because she wanted to teach Su Qing-sang a little lesson. She thought of what Su Changhui had said to her before. He said Hu Jinyao's plan and decision. What was this? Based on what? Why should she bow her head to an illegitimate daughter that she didn't like? Not to mention that this illegitimate daughter caused her family to be at odds with each other and her parents to be apart. Su Qing-sang watched as Su Peijin's expression changed from time to time. She couldn't figure out why Su Peijin had come here. What can I do for you? It wasn't time for her to get off work yet. There were no patients at the moment. If there were patients, she would be busy. Su Peijin stood there without moving. It was too embarrassing for her to say an apology. Su Qing-sang was more and more confused. Her vigilance rose to the highest point. Su Qing-sang, why did she do that? Didn't she just find a man? She just had a man to support her. To put it bluntly, didn't she rely on men? What was the big deal? Let me tell you, even if I apologize to you today, it's not what I meant. Don't try to make me bow my head. Su Qing-sang couldn't figure out what he was talking about. What are you trying to say? She apologized to me? Was this world magical? But why? I'm sorry. Su Peijian said this and was about to leave. Su Qing-sang was more and more confused. Why are you apologizing to me? She really didn't know that Hua Jinyao had tortured her for a long time yesterday. Hua Jinyao went home to tell her about Liu Xiangyu's husband. However, he was provoked by her theory of leaks and taught her a lesson for the whole night. Finally, he got up in the morning and went to work after eating and drinking. He completely forgot to mention it. He didn't mention it, so Su Qing-sang naturally didn't know. Now that she heard Su Peijian's apology, she was confused. Su Qing-sang, I'm warning you, don't be so shameless. Su Peijian was sure that Su Qing-sang did it on purpose. She was obviously pretending. This made Su Peijian even angrier. She hated Su Qing-sang even more. She would remember today's humiliation. One day, she would pay Su Qing-sang back for what she had suffered. Su Qing-sang was confused. How could she be so shameless? She didn't even know what was going on, okay? Seeing her like that, Su Peijian was not willing to stay any longer. After glaring at her hatefully, he quickly left. Before he left, he even forgot his demeanor and slammed the door shut. Su Qing-sang became more and more confused because of his actions. Had Su Peijian taken the wrong medicine today? At night, Su Qing-sang looked at Hua Jinyao, who was lying next to her, and quickly raised her hand to stop him from moving any further. Don't come. It's uncomfortable. Hua Jinyao was stunned for a moment. He didn't plan to do anything today, but Su Qing-sang's defensive look made him feel amused. Chapter 306. Rogue. Su Qing-sang gritted her teeth. She knew that this guy would do what he said. Don't come. I really can't take it. Wife, I realize that you've been married for almost half a year. Why haven't you improved at all? You're still so weak. You're weak. Your whole family is weak. Su Qing-sang realized that she had said something wrong. Sure enough, Hua Jinyao suddenly turned over and pressed on top of her. He pinched her chin and said, I'm weak? Huh? Not weak, not weak. Su Qing-sang shook her head quickly. My whole family is weak? He put his big hand on her waist. The threat was quite obvious. No, I'm weak. Su Qing-sang was really afraid of him. You're not weak. She was really afraid of him. She was afraid that he would accidentally do it again. You're right about one thing. Hua Jinyao looked at her with a teasing expression. You're really the weakest in my family. Su Qing-sang blushed. She turned over and ignored Hua Jinyao. Hua Jinyao held her body in his arms. Okay, you're not weak. I'm too strong, okay? You're still talking about it. Su Qing-sang slapped his hand hard. Okay, let's not talk about it. Let's sleep. Hua Jinyao saw Su Qing-sang's guarded face. He said helplessly, Don't worry, I'm really just going to sleep. Is that okay? Su Qing-sang was already immune to his teasing words. She closed her eyes and went to sleep, completely ignoring him. Hua Jinyao looked at her sleeping face and was more and more satisfied. He didn't know if his slightly weak wife had noticed that she had been more and more relaxed and comfortable in front of him recently. She was cold at the beginning, but later she accepted him. Occasionally, she would show some girlish shyness in front of him, and now she would occasionally throw tantrums at him. Her words and actions were getting more and more casual. She didn't notice, but he did. He couldn't help but lean over and kiss her on the lips. He was more and more satisfied with this wife. Su Qing-sang was disturbed by his kiss and couldn't fall asleep smoothly. She suddenly thought of what happened during the day and covered his lips with her hand. Stop it. I'm so sleepy. She didn't sleep much yesterday, and he still bullied her like this. It was too much, wasn't it? All right, I'll stop fooling around. Go to sleep. Hua Jinyao knew that he had gone too far yesterday. He had planned to let her have a good rest today. Su Qing-sang was relieved. She yawned and was about to fall asleep when she suddenly opened her eyes and looked at Hua Jinyao. Hua Jinyao, by the way, something strange happened today. What strange thing? Su Qing-sang thought about Su Peijian's performance today. She really didn't understand what she was doing today. She told Hua Jinyao what had happened today. Su Qing-sang raised her eyebrows and said, Why is she apologizing to me? Hua Jinyao curled up the corner of his mouth. Was it so difficult to say sorry? It seemed like the lesson was too light. Hua Jinyao. Su Qingsang couldn't help but call him again when he didn't respond. I'm fine. Just take it that she's crazy. If Su Peijian heard what Hua Jinyao said, she would probably vomit blood in anger. Su Qingsang didn't understand. Looking at the strange smile on Hua Jinyao's face, she felt that he had something to do with it. You didn't do something again, did you? How could that be? Hua Jinyao wrapped his arms around her waist and rubbed her neck. Honey, I see that you're very energetic. Why don't we? I'm out of energy. Su Qingsang stopped asking. She closed her eyes and went to sleep. Chapter 307. Su Peijian smashed the glass in her hand onto the floor. The expensive crystal glass shattered into pieces. There were other people sitting in the private room, all of whom were Su Peijian's friends. Qiu Junjie was also here today. She looked at Su Peijian and sneered. What are you doing? If you're really upset, go find the person who made you suffer. Why are you behaving like this in front of us? Su Peijian turned around and glared at her. She did hate Su Qingsang for making her lose face, but she hated Qiu Yanba the most. If Qiu Yanba hadn't had a change of heart, she wouldn't have become like this. Even though she had broken off the engagement with Qiu Yanba, she couldn't avenge herself. After all, the Li family and the Qiu family were working together in too many fields. She couldn't do whatever she wanted. What? Are you upset that I'm telling you the truth? Qiu Junjie picked up the glass and poured herself a glass of wine. If you're really capable, go find Su Qingsang. Don't lose your temper here. It's useless. Qiu Junjie, don't go too far. Don't cross the line. Su Peijian sat down. Do you think I don't know? You don't want Su Qingsang to have an easy time. Yes, I don't want her to have an easy time. Qiu Junjie didn't like Su Qingsang either. But I won't be like you, getting caught even after making a move. Don't you think you deserve it? Su Peijian's expression was quite ugly. Luo Meishan and Song Yoha, who came with her, couldn't be compared to these two. Neither of them spoke. Don't make it sound so nice. Do you mean you have a better way to deal with Su Qingsang? Of course. I think you're mad at my brother. Why don't you think about what Su Qingsang is so proud of now? Hua Jinyao. She didn't need to say it. If Hua Jinyao hadn't protected Su Qingsang, she, an illegitimate daughter, wouldn't have been so arrogant. Then it's settled. Qiu Junjie sighed. You just need to find someone to take Hua Jinyao down. Su Qingsang won't do. That's impossible. Hua Jinyao seemed to dote on Su Qingsang. Speaking of this, she felt her teeth ache. As expected, she was an illegitimate daughter who couldn't be seen in public. All she knew was how to do was to seduce men. What's impossible about it? Qiu Junjie's expression carried a hint of mockery. I said that you were blinded by a leaf. Which man didn't like the new and disliked the old? Right now, it was just a novelty. As time goes by, I don't believe that Hua Jinyao will be willing to spend the rest of his life with such an indifferent woman. Su Peijian was silent. She didn't believe that Su Qingsang was charming. She believed that Hua Jinyao wouldn't be easily swayed. I went to Rome City a few days ago because I had something to do. Qiu Junjie moved closer to Su Qingsang. There was a hint of schadenfreude in her eyes. I heard something very interesting. What? Qiu Junjie looked at Su Peijian and suddenly sat down beside her. She put her face close to Su Peijian's ear and whispered softly. Su Peijian's eyes slowly widened at her words. Finally, she turned to look at her. Are you serious? Chapter 308. Su Peijian stopped talking. If that was the case, it would be interesting. Su Qingsang was probably still in the dark, wasn't she? After calming down, she once again became the eldest daughter of the Su family. Picking up the glass, he poured himself a glass of wine and clinked glasses with Qiu Junjie. Regardless of the outcome, I thank you in advance. You're welcome. Qiu Junjie nodded her head and said straightforwardly, I don't want your illegitimate daughter to be complacent. You should know that there are rules in this world. Don't you think so? Of course. Su Peijian understood what Qiu Junjie meant. The Qiu family also had an illegitimate child. If these illegitimate sons and daughters were allowed to roam around, wouldn't it be a mess? The sound of crystal wine glasses clinking could be heard in the private room. Su Peijian smiled. Su Qing sang, "Let us just watch." It was early winter in Lin City, and the weather was getting colder. In the blink of an eye, it was Christmas Eve. When Su Chenghui returned home that day, he saw that Li Qianxue was busy decorating the house. Su Chenghui looked at the decorations and suddenly remembered that Christmas was coming. Christmas was a special day, not only because it was a holiday, but also because it was Su Peijian's birthday. "It's a little higher over there." Li Qianxue looked ahead and gestured for the servant to raise it higher. Seeing Su Chenghui come in, she turned around and asked, "Why are you back so early today? Who did you invite to Peijian's birthday party tomorrow?" Every year, Su Peijian's birthday party was considered a big event. Other than business friends of the Li family, she would also invite some daughters of aristocratic families who were on good terms with Su Peijian. Just like in previous years, we've invited almost everyone. Su Peijian's birthday party had been held for many years, so Li Qianxue was familiar with it. Su Chenghui was quite sure of Li Qianxue's talent in this area. However, things were different this year. Invite Hu Jinyao and Su Qing sang too. Li Qianxue's expression turned ugly for a moment. She suddenly curled the corners of her lips. He looked at Su Chenghui sarcastically. "You didn't invite him in the past years. Why are you inviting him this year?" Su Qing sang didn't get married in the past. She's getting married this year. She was married to Hu Jinyao. What do you think? This isn't a big banquet. It was just to invite some of Peijian's friends over for a get-together. Do you really have to ask Su Qing sang to come and make things difficult for Peijian? How can this be a hindrance? Speaking of which, Qing sang was also Peijian's sister. Not to mention now enough. Li Qianxue glared at her husband. "A few days ago, you forced Peijian to bow down to that girl. Do you think I didn't know? What? Are you trying to flatter Su Qing sang now? Don't even think about it. Can you be a little more reasonable?" Tianyu Group is now working with the Li Corporation. Even if you don't want to see Su Qing sang, you should think about Hu Jinyao, right? You know very well whether it's because of Hu Jinyao or because you care about Su Qing sang. Li Qianxue snorted coldly. "Anyway, I don't want to invite Su Qing sang to my daughter's birthday party. If you want to invite me, you could just hold another banquet." "You?" Su Chenghui nodded heavily. "Unreasonable." Seeing Su Chenghui leave without looking back, Li Qianxue's face grew darker and darker. She didn't have the magnanimity to invite Su Qing sang. Chapter 309. Su Yusin had just entered the door when he heard the argument. "Mom." After thinking about it, he stepped forward and stood in front of Li Qianxue. "I'm back." "Yusin, you're back? It's your sister's birthday party tomorrow. You came back just in time. Help me see which one is better." Li Qianxue was about to walk toward the coffee table when Su Yusin blocked her way. "Mom, I think what Dad said just now makes sense." "Yusin, Mom, Su Qing sang is also a member of this family. After all, her identity is different now. Giving her face is actually giving Hu Jinyao and Tianyu Group face. Don't you agree?" Although Su Yusin had made mistakes in the affairs of men and women, as the heir of the Su family, he naturally knew what was going on in the business world. Even though he hadn't attended the banquet held by Tianyu Group for Su Qing sang, someone had told him about it. On the one hand, he was happy for Su Qing sang, but on the other hand, he was worried about her. Could she really adapt to the change of her identity so quickly? There was an opportunity in front of him. No matter what, he had to convince Li Qianxue. "Mom, don't be angry. Listen to me." Su Qing sang had no idea that she was being watched. Recently, she had been researching a topic with her teacher. In fact, if she could, she didn't just want to be a postgraduate student and continue her life in this hospital. If possible, she still wanted to continue her PhD. If she could go abroad for further studies and learn more advanced technology, that would be even better. Hu Jinyao couldn't stand it anymore when she was busy. In the first place, a doctor's time was not fixed. It was impossible for the pregnant woman to pick a time to give birth. Not only did Su Qing sang often have to work night shifts, but she also had accidents from time to time. As the doctor's family member, he had tried his best to endure it. Now, Su Qing-sang and her teacher were working on some kind of research project. Every day, when she got home and ate, she would rush into the study to look for information and documents. She had completely forgotten about her husband. Look at her. Every day after she was done with work, she would fall asleep, completely ignoring her bitter husband. Honey, Su Qing-sang had been sitting in front of the computer for nearly 2 hours. Hua Jinyao was standing in front of her, but he didn't even notice. Honey, Hua Jinyao called her again. Su Qing-sang seemed to have finally noticed him. Wait a minute, let me finish reading this part first. Honey, Hua Jinyao sounded a little sad. Was he not as good as Su Qing-sang's information? Something was not right. He looked in the mirror when he woke up this morning, and he was still as handsome as ever. Don't be noisy. Su Qing-sang was so absorbed in watching that she completely ignored Hua Jinyao. Hua Jinyao touched his nose and counted in his mind. Su Qing-sang had ignored him for about 7 days. Got it right. From the looks of it, he had no choice but to go all out. He walked behind the table and picked Su Qing-sang up. Su Qing-sang let out a low cry and patted him on the shoulder. Hua Jinyao, what are you doing? I haven't saved my information yet. It's okay. You won't get lost. Hua Jinyao carried her and walked outside. That's enough. Xiang Kaiping was still there. Hua Jinyao acted as if he didn't hear her and carried her straight back to the room. Annie is an experienced person. I believe she can understand. Hua Jinyao. Su Qing-sang couldn't call him. I'll be done soon. You, don't worry. I won't take up too much of your time. As he spoke, Hua Jinyao was about to take off Su Qing-sang's clothes. Su Qing-sang's phone suddenly rang. Hua Jinyao didn't want to pay attention to it, but Su Qing-sang had already seen the name on the screen. Chapter 310. Su Chenghui. Those 3 words made Su Qing-sang feel the hair on her back stand on end. Su Qing-sang picked up the phone under Hua Jinyao's protesting gaze. She hung up after a few words. Honey, Hua Jinyao was about to continue when Su Qing-sang stopped his hand. Stop it. She sat up and thought about the phone call. My dad called me and asked me to attend Su Peijian's birthday party. No. Hua Jinyao's hand was still trying to fight with Su Qing-sang's clothes. Hua Jinyao, could he be more serious? Don't move. Hua Jinyao knew that he couldn't continue now. He sat up straight and asked, do you want to go? It's not about whether I want to or not. My dad actually called me and asked me to attend Su Peijian's birthday party. Do you think I can refuse? If you don't want to go, then don't go. What's wrong with that? The Li family and the Su family were powerful now. So what? Tianyu was not weaker than them. Su Qing-sang didn't say anything. She thought about it a little more. It doesn't seem right not to go. There's nothing wrong with it. Hua Jinyao touched Su Qing-sang's waist as he spoke. Don't worry. They don't dare to offend you now. Su Qing-sang glanced at him impatiently and successfully made Hua Jinyao put his hand down. That's easy for you to say. So you mean you want to go? Tomorrow is Su Peijian's birthday. Su Qing-sang thought of Su Peijian. Speaking of which, my birthday is only 1 day away from hers. Su Peijian's birthday was Christmas. After Christmas, it would be her birthday. Honey, Hua Jinyao turned his face to look at her and said teasingly, Honey, are you reminding me not to forget your birthday present the day after tomorrow? Who told him that? Su Qing-sang couldn't help but roll her eyes at him. Hua Jinyao held her shoulders tightly in his arms. His voice was firm. Honey, I will never forget your birthday. Don't worry, I will remember it and prepare a birthday present. Actually, I don't care about my birthday anymore. Su Qing-sang thought about her life in the Su family. I've never celebrated my birthday in all these years, and I've never received a birthday present. Every year, he would watch Su Peijian's birthday celebration at Christmas. Li Qianxue would invite a group of people to celebrate and throw a party for Su Peijian. What about her? Even if it was Su Peijian's birthday, she wasn't allowed to appear in the banquet hall, much less remember her birthday. She was the shame of the Su family and the Li family. She was self-aware. Not only would she not show up, she would even take the initiative to hide in her room that day. After the excitement of Christmas the day before, no one would remember that the Su family had another daughter, Su Qing-sang, who was born a day after Su Peijian. Su Qing-sang wanted to say that she had gotten used to it after all these years. Her body was suddenly pulled into Hua Jinyao's arms. Su Qing-sang's face was pressed against his chest, feeling his firm and warm embrace and his steady and powerful heartbeat. She didn't feel wronged at first, but at this moment, her eyes suddenly felt a little sore. "I'm fine. Really?" She took a deep breath and smelled his pleasant, masculine scent. She said softly, "I've been fine for a long time. Only when she was a child would she want the attention of adults. Now, she was past that age. To her, the love and care of her parents were not essential anymore." Chapter 3:11. Hua Jinyao hugged Su Qing-sang tightly. Her heart had been wrapped in layers of ice because of her childhood experiences. Even though she seemed to have accepted him on the surface, he knew that she still had some reservations about him in her heart. Just like how she had never been able to call Xiang Kaiping mother. She was unwilling to call him husband in bed, and she rarely even called him by his name. In her heart, she had a sense of propriety and distance from everyone. "I'm really fine." Because Hua Jinyao didn't let go of her, Su Qing-sang had to move away from his arms. "You see, I don't have anyone to celebrate my birthday with me. I'm already so old. It's just a birthday. It doesn't matter if I don't celebrate it or not." Hua Jinyao still didn't speak and just stared at her. "Don't look at me like that." Su Qing-sang was a little scared by Hua Jinyao's gaze. "It's getting late. Let's sleep." "Okay." Hua Jinyao nodded and didn't rush to take off Su Qing-sang's clothes like before. He hugged Su Qing-sang and simply closed his eyes to sleep. Just sleep. Although Su Qing-sang had decided to go to Su Peijian's birthday party, she didn't plan to be in the limelight. So she didn't even prepare clothes. She only planned to go after work. However, before she got off work, Hua Jinyao came to pick her up. First, he politely went to Director Chun to ask for leave, then left with Su Qing-sang. "What are you doing?" Su Qing-sang didn't know what Hua Jinyao was going to do until she arrived. It was the same people from the last party. Hua Jinyao asked them to style her and pick out a dress for her. Unlike the white dress last time, this time, Hua Jinyao chose a red dress for her. The chiffon fabric clung to her body, accentuating her graceful curves. The red also made her look sexy and gorgeous. This time, Hua Jinyao not only put on a set of more expensive and luxurious ruby jewelry for her, but also brought her wedding ring and put it on her. Su Qing-sang looked at the pigeon egg on her hand, and for a moment, she wondered if her fingers would break. "This ring is actually real, right?" Last time, he lied to her that it was fake and said it was an imitation. "Yes." Hua Jinyao looked at his wife's outfit and nodded in admiration. "Perfect." Su Qing-sang only glanced at the mirror, then turned her eyes away. "Are you planning to take me to their place to make a scene?" "Wrong." Hua Jinyao hooked his arm around hers and walked out with her. "I'm going to show your father and Mrs. Su how blind they were." It wasn't the first time Su Qing-sang knew that Hua Jinyao's mouth could be deadly, but she hadn't experienced it for a long time. All right, this feeling was not bad. The car stopped outside the Su family's villa. The banquet was about to begin, and many guests had already arrived. Sitting in the car, Su Qing-sang took a deep breath and said, "Hua Jinyao, I'm thinking, should I go back and change?" Su Peijian was the star of the banquet today. It didn't seem right for her to steal the limelight. Moreover, Su Peijian already disliked her. "Honey," Hua Jinyao squeezed her hand. "I want you to remember one thing." "What?" "You're not just the illegitimate daughter of the Su family. You're also my wife. The wife of the president of Tianyu Group." After that, without giving Su Qing-sang a chance to regret, he got out of the car and went to the other side to open the car door for Su Qing-sang. Chapter 3:12. Su Peijian was in a good mood that day. She received a gift from her parents early in the morning. Although she received it every year, her parents' love still made her feel happy. Her younger brother, Su Yusin, was also there today. He specially asked for leave from school to celebrate her birthday with her. The family had lunch together at noon, and in the evening, it was time for her to get together with her group of friends. Of course, it was also necessary to use this time every year to connect with some families. But this joy only lasted until she saw Su Qing-sang appear. Su Peijian's facial features were gorgeous. She liked to wear red, and she had always liked it. The last time she went to the Tianyu Group's banquet, she wore a red dress. Many people in Lin City knew about her hobby. Therefore, on an occasion like today, no one would be stupid enough to wear the same red as her. But there was one person who not only wore it, but also wore it even more dazzling than her. Su Qing-sang entered the door and found that her clothes clashed with Su Peijian's. Although it was only a clashing color, the jewelry she was wearing was obviously better than the other person's. Su Qing-sang suddenly felt a little embarrassed. She subconsciously looked at Hua Jinyao. Hua Jinyao held her hand firmly. "Honey, look ahead." Hua Jinyao. Did he really not notice Su Peijian's murderous gaze? "Honey, don't worry. They won't dare to eat you." Hua Jinyao's expression was indifferent. He held Su Qing-sang's hand and walked to Su Peijian. Su Qing-sang had no choice but to give her the gift she had prepared. "Sister, happy birthday." Su Peijian's face turned green. "Sister? Who is your sister? Where did you get the face to call me big sister? And where did you get the face to wear such a bright red dress at my birthday party? If this wasn't a deliberate slap in the face, what was?" She was angry, very angry. Her chest kept rising and falling. Looking at the box that Su Qing-sang handed over, she raised her hand and was about to knock it away. "Thank you, sister." But a hand on the side took it one step faster than her. Su Yusin looked at Su Qing-sang, took the gift from her hand, and smiled at her. "Thank you, second sister." "You're whose second sister?" Su Peijian glared at her younger brother. Su Yusin smiled at her, but there was a hint of disapproval in his eyes. "Eldest sister, second sister, and second brother-in-law are here to celebrate your birthday. You should be very happy, right?" Su Changhui was still watching them from behind, and there were so many guests watching them. If Su Peijian did anything drastic, it would attract a lot of attention. "I'm happy." Why was she happy? Big sister. Su Yusin was a little helpless. He moved his face closer to Su Peijian. "There are cameras." The corners of Su Peijian's mouth twitched. Yes, she would hire a cameraman for her birthday every year. Today was no exception. She took back the sarcasm that was about to come out of her mouth and stiffly reached out to take the gift from Su Yusin's hand. She turned to look at Su Qing-sang and said, "Thank you." The word "thank you" was squeezed out through gritted teeth. Su Qing-sang acted as if she didn't feel it and nodded graciously. "You're welcome." Li Qianxue, who was about to go downstairs, happened to see this scene. She stood at the top of the stairs and turned to look at Su Changhui beside her. Her eyes were sharp and cold. Chapter 3:13. Su Changhui didn't look too happy either. He felt that Hua Jinyao had flattered Su Qing-sang too much. "Not going to say anything? Or maybe this is what you want to see?" As Li Qianxue spoke, she suddenly turned her face to Su Changhui. "Su Changhui, you've been ignoring Su Qing-sang and ignoring her for so many years. You've been waiting for this day, haven't you? What nonsense are you spouting?" Su Changhui glanced at Hua Jinyao, who was leading Su Qing-sang to the long dining table and attentively getting food for her. Su Changhui frowned as he looked at Su Peijian's pale face. "Is that nonsense?" Li Qianxue leaned closer to him and said in a slightly cold voice, "That woman can't come back now. Otherwise, I would really like to let her see how sad she feels after being neglected by you for so many years." Li Qianxue. Su Changhui glared at her. "Don't mention her in front of me. You want to say that I'm not worthy again." Li Qianxue sneered. "Whether I'm worthy or not, the one standing in front of you right now is me. Su Changhui, I don't care if it's any other time, but you'd better remember who you are today. If you ruin Peijian's birthday, I won't let it go so easily." After saying this, Li Qianxue lifted the corner of her dress, raised her head, and walked downstairs. That was because Hua Jinyao was standing next to Su Qing-sang almost every step. Some of the young ladies who didn't get along with Su Qing-sang before and wanted to take advantage of this opportunity to make things difficult for her also became obedient. When they saw that old Master Li had called Hua Jinyao away, Su Qing-sang was alone. Although this was Su Qing-sang's home, She didn't have the habit of wandering around. Hui Jiniao was called away by Old Masterly. She took a glass of juice and was about to sit in the rest area for a while. Just as she was halfway there, someone bumped into her arm. He accidentally spilled the drink in his hand. She was holding a glass of juice, and now with the wine, more than half of it was spilled on her chest. Su Qingsang turned around and saw that the person standing in front of her was Qiu Junjiu. "Aya, I'm really sorry. I accidentally bumped into you." Qiu Junjiu had seen Su Qingsang just now. To be honest, she had never liked Su Qingsang. When she saw Su Qingsang in a red dress like Su Peijian, she felt even more uncomfortable. She could have stayed out of it. After all, she knew very well that Su Qingsang's days of glory were numbered. However, looking at Hui Jiniao standing in front of Su Qingsang from beginning to end, with the look of a madman protecting his wife, she suddenly felt a little uncomfortable. She had a good relationship with He Xianyao, and He Xianyao was hurt by Hui Jiniao because of Su Qingsang. What made her even angrier was that Su Qingsang had seduced her brother, even though she was married. It was simply intolerable. At this moment, she was smiling at Su Qingsang with a glass of wine in her hand. She said she was sorry, but there was no sign of apology on her face. Su Qingsang looked at Qiu Junjiu, then at herself. She raised her chin slightly and looked at Qiu Junjiu. Such a big glass of juice can contain so much. Is this carelessness? What's wrong? Is Mrs. Hui angry? Qiu Jun smiled at Su Qingsang. Well, so what if the red dress was beautiful? After drinking more than half a cup of juice, he looked very embarrassed. Chapter 314. Did Su Qingsang really think that she could gain the approval of everyone here just because she was here? Did she really think that she could be the crown prince just because she wore the imperial robe? Ridiculous. How naive. Apologize. Su Qingsang looked at Qiu Junjiu and said calmly, "What did you say?" Qiu Junjiu's eyes widened, as if she did not hear her clearly. "I said apologize." Qiu Junjiu pretended to laugh and turned to look at Luo Meishan and Song Yoha. They had been watching from afar and walked over when they saw that Qiu Junjiu had really bumped into them. Did you guys notice? Some people, when their identities change, their personalities change as well. Luo Meishan stood at the side and smiled. Of course. After all, some people used to be crows. Now that they have risen to the top, they think they are phoenixes. Isn't that right? Song Yoha also covered her mouth and chuckled. She glanced at Su Qingsang and said, "It's a pity that some people are still crows and can never become phoenixes." Su Qingsang finally realized that these two women were here to pick a fight. Li Qinxue, who was chatting with someone in the distance, naturally saw the conflict. She frowned slightly, but did not want to interfere. If Su Qingsang could not handle a small problem, Hui Jiniao would soon get tired of such a useless woman. Su Qingsang could feel the gazes of the people around her. She was still holding the glass of fruit juice. She looked at Qiu Junjiu and said, "Miss Qiu, are you not going to apologize for your behavior?" "What did you say? Apologize? Why should I apologize?" Qiu Junjiu spread her hands and looked a little arrogant. "I'm sorry, I don't have the habit of apologizing." "Really?" Su Qingsang nodded and looked at Qiu Junjiu's face. Before Qiu Junjiu could react, Su Qingsang threw the glass of juice in her hand at her. It landed on Qiu Junjiu's chest, where Su Qingsang had wet the fruit juice. "You!" Qiu Junjiu stared at Su Qingsang with her eyes wide open. She could not believe that an illegitimate daughter would be so arrogant. "Su Qingsang, how dare you?" "Why wouldn't I dare?" Su Qingsang stood perfectly straight. Her straight back and slightly raised chin showed her pride. Qiu Junjiu was furious. She raised the wine glass in her hand and wanted to throw it back at Su Qingsang, but Su Qingsang grabbed her hand faster than her. Then, she saw her snatch the wine glass in her hand with a rather quick movement and directly smash the glass of wine on her face. Qiu Junjiu closed her eyes as the red wine splashed on her face. She lost her elegance and carelessly wiped her face a few times. Her face was dry, but the stain was still there. It was wet and uncomfortable. What made her even angrier was that she had been humiliated. She glared at Su Qing-sang. Su Qing-sang, how dare you? Su Qing-sang put the glass on the table next to her and said, yeah, I dare. Since she dared to come up and find trouble, why should he give her any face? Qiu Junjio's chest heaved violently. Without thinking, she raised her hand to slap Su Qing-sang. Su Qing-sang took a step back, not wanting Qiu Junjio to hit her. Qiu Junjio's hand missed. She stepped forward again, determined to teach Su Qing-sang a lesson. Chapter 315. Yusin. Su Yusin stood there. He was a 17 or 18-year-old boy with a childish face, but he could already foresee what he would look like when he grew up. Sister Junjio. Su Yusin grabbed Qiu Junjio's hand. He didn't use much force, but Qiu Junjio couldn't break free at all. No matter what, this is our Su family's banquet. You had someone at our Su family's banquet. Are you looking down on our Su family? Qiu Junjio's face turned cold. She glared at Su Yusin. I hit someone? Why didn't you see what she did? I saw it. Su Yusin let go of Qiu Junjio's hand and took a step back, standing in front of Su Qing-sang. But I saw what you did too. Su Qing-sang looked at Su Yusin, touched. She wasn't afraid of Qiu Junjio hitting her. If she really hit her, she wouldn't be able to avoid it. Even if she couldn't, she had ways to protect herself. But Su Yusin's protection warmed her. She looked at Su Yusin gratefully. Li Qianxue, who was in the distance, happened to see this scene, and her shrewd eyes flashed with sharpness. Su Chenghui and Hu Jinyao had gone to the study with old Master Li and weren't there. Su Peixian saw it too. Her face darkened. Her hand holding the cup clenched into a fist. What do you mean? Qiu Junjio didn't miss the looks from the people around her. The Qiu family and the Su family were old friends, but Su Yusin was humiliating her. Nothing. Su Yusin's voice was soft. Sister Junjio, your clothes are wet. Why don't you go upstairs and change? Do, Sister Junjio. Su Yusin took a step forward as he spoke. My second brother-in-law isn't here now. If he comes down later and sees my sister like this, what do you think he will do? He said this very softly, leaning against Qiu Junjio. Qiu Junjio immediately understood what he meant. Her face turned pale. Su Yusin smiled. Qiu Junjio couldn't lose her temper. She stomped her feet and turned to leave. Su Yusin sighed after she left. He saw Su Peixian's unhappy face from afar. He touched his nose and turned to look at Su Qing-sang. Second sister, are you all right? I'm fine. Thank you. Su Qing-sang smiled at him gratefully. Su Yusin stared at the puddle of juice stains on her clothes. Second sister, go upstairs and change your clothes. All right. Su Qing-sang nodded. Before she could go upstairs, old Master Li led Su Changhui and Hu Jinyao downstairs. Hu Jinyao noticed Su Qing-sang's condition and frowned. He quickly walked up to Su Qing-sang. His eyes fell on the obvious stain on her chest. There was no playfulness in his eyes. What happened? Nothing. Su Qing-sang shook her head. I accidentally knocked over a glass of juice. Accidentally knocking over a glass of juice? Hu Jinyao looked around and finally looked at Su Qing-sang. The serious look on his face disappeared, and he took out a handkerchief from his pocket and wiped it on her clothes. Why are you so careless? Su Qing-sang seemed to be a little embarrassed, but Hu Jinyao didn't mind. He looked at the stain that obviously couldn't be wiped clean and frowned. I can't clean it. Let's go back. All right. She had been here and been in the limelight. She really didn't want to stay here anymore. Chapter 316. Let's go. Hu Jinyao paused for a moment as he spoke. He took off his suit jacket and put on Su Qing-sang. Before leaving, he didn't forget to bid farewell to old Master Li with Su Qing-sang. After getting into the car, Hu Jinyao turned on the air conditioner and raised the temperature. Are you cold? I'm not cold. Hu Jinyao nodded and casually said, Your brother is not bad. Yusin? Su Qing-sang paused for a moment, then nodded. Yes. Yes, Yusin is not bad. He should know what just happened, right? He should know, right? Looking at the road ahead, Hu Jinyao thought that Su Chenghui was a good man. Although Su Peijian wasn't much, Su Yusin looked like a promising talent. He would probably be a good opponent when he grew up. How was your relationship with him? Not bad. Their relationship wasn't that good before, but after what happened last time, their relationship had become much closer. That's good. Su Qingseng looked at Hu Jinyao and felt that there was a hidden meaning in his words. However, he didn't think too much about it. Actually, Yusin is quite pitiful. Pitiful? How is he pitiful? My dad said that boys need to gain experience, so we didn't move out until we were in university. Only Su Yusin lived on campus in junior high. Although he can come back on the weekends, my dad has arranged a lot of homework for him during the winter and summer holidays. These homework naturally referred to some business matters. It could be seen that Su Chenghui valued his son very much, but he was also very strict with him. Hu Jinyao was focused on driving, thinking about Su Qingsang's words. Xiang Kaiping woke up early that morning. When she saw Su Qingsang, she smiled brightly. Qingsang, you're awake? Morning. It's getting late. Xiang Kaiping walked over with a smile and took Su Qingsang's hand. Qingsang, happy birthday. Thank you. I cooked a bowl of longevity noodles for you. Eat before you go to work. Sure. Su Qingsang did not refuse. When she saw the genuine concern in Xiang Caiping's eyes, she only felt very warm. Thank you, Auntie. Silly child. What are you thanking me for? The two of them went to the dining room together. Xiang Kaiping brought out the noodles. After today, Qingsang will be 1 year older. I wish you good health and safety. Thank you, Auntie. Su Qingsang was a little touched. She sat down on the chair and looked at the bowl of steaming noodles. Her nose suddenly felt a little sour. Using the excuse of eating noodles, she lowered her head and blinked her eyes, trying her best to hold back the urge to cry. How does it taste? I rolled it myself. I don't know if you'll like it. Xiang Kaiping spoke carefully, but there was a hint of sadness in her voice. Her daughter was already so big, but she had never celebrated her birthday with her. Speaking of which, Xiang Caiping's heart was filled with self-blame and regret. He regretted that he shouldn't have been angry with Su Chenghui. He regretted not taking Su Qingsang with him. Even if it was tough and tiring, at least her daughter was still by her side. Su Qingsang kept her head down. This was the first time she had tasted the noodles made by her mother. Most importantly, she didn't have to spend this birthday alone anymore. Thinking of this, Su Qingsang suddenly raised her head. Auntie, where's Hu Jinyao? I don't know. He left early in the morning. Chapter 317. After eating the noodles, Xiang Kaiping saw that Su Qingsang still had to go out. It's your birthday today. Why do you have to go to work? Yeah, it's not the weekend, and it's not New Year's Day. Su Qingsang put on her coat and smiled when she met Xiang Caiping's indignant gaze. It's okay. What's the big deal about going to work? When I was a graduate student, I stayed in a hospital for a week to do a research project. I didn't even have a holiday on New Year's Day, not to mention my birthday. The heartache on Xiang Caiping's face became even more obvious. Su Qingsang also realized that she had said the wrong thing. She stepped forward and hugged Xiang Kaiping. Auntie, thank you for today. Xiang Kaiping hugged Su Qingsang tightly before letting go. Okay, go to work. I'll cook something delicious for you when you come back. Okay. Su Qingsang nodded. The moment she turned around, she made a decision in her heart. The hospital was busy every day, even though it was just Christmas yesterday. At noon, there was a car accident 2 streets away from the hospital. The car accident caused serious injuries to 7 or 8 people. One of them was a pregnant woman. As soon as Su Qingsang stepped into the office, she forgot about her birthday, especially after receiving the pregnant woman. She followed Director Zhang, Director Chun, and 2 other doctors in the operating room for a few hours. Finally, they succeeded in saving the pregnant woman and the child. When she came out of the operating room, Su Qingsang was so hungry that her chest was sticking to her back. Still, she finished the surgery report and handed over all her work. Before leaving work, she took out her phone and saw that there were more than a dozen missed calls. Except for one from Xiang Kaiping, the rest were from Hu Jinyao. Just as she was about to call Hu Jinyao back, a large bouquet of roses suddenly appeared in front of her. Su Qing-sang was stunned for a moment. There were a total of 999 red roses, delicate and beautiful. In the middle, there were yellow roses arranged in the shape of a heart. There was a card inside. The flowers were so big that they covered the face of the person who sent them. Before Su Qing-sang could react, she heard a male voice that she was now very familiar with. "Happy birthday, wife." She looked up and saw Hu Jinyao's smiling face behind the roses. "Wife, happy birthday. Do you like it?" He put the bouquet in front of Su Qing-sang. Because the flowers were so big, Su Qing-sang couldn't even hug them completely. "I like it." Su Qing-sang noticed that many people were looking at her as she spoke. She blushed and said, "I can get off work after changing. Give me a moment." Su Qing-sang changed her clothes and came out with Hu Jinyao, who was holding a large bouquet of roses. Along the way, they attracted a lot of attention. She was not used to being the center of attention. His footsteps were quick, and he only felt a little better when he got on the car. "Honey, if you look so guilty, people will think we're having an affair." Su Qing-sang glared at Hu Jinyao. Who's feeling guilty? If he hadn't given her such a big bouquet of flowers, she wouldn't have attracted so much attention. "Wife, don't forget, we are a married couple." Hu Jinyao leaned over and kissed her on the cheek. "All right, honey, let's go eat. Aren't you eating at home?" Then, what about Xiang Kaiping? She was still waiting to celebrate her birthday with him. "Don't worry, I've already asked Wenchang to pick Annie up." On the other hand, Xiang Kaiping had already been brought to Chaowen Courtyard by Yang Wenchang. Hu Jinyao had made a reservation for dinner. Chapter 3:18. When Su Qing-sang walked in, Xiang Kaiping had been waiting for a few minutes. Su Qing-sang was a little embarrassed. "Auntie, have you waited long?" "It's fine. I'm old anyway. It's nothing." Xiang Kaiping stood up with a smile. "Auntie, take a seat. We're family anyway." Hu Jinyao knew Su Qing-sang well. She didn't need to invite a bunch of irrelevant people to celebrate her birthday. As long as the family had a simple meal together, it would be fine. Su Qing-sang nodded. The three of them sat down and ordered. The waiter left after serving the tea. Xiang Kaiping took out a box from her bag and put it in front of Su Qing-sang. "This is my birthday present for you." "Thank you, Auntie." Su Qing-sang took it and didn't rush to open it. "Auntie, you don't have to be so polite. You already gave me my birthday present this morning." "Of course not." "Why not? That bowl of noodles is one. That's too light." Xiang Kaiping waved her hand. "Look, in the past 20 years, I haven't celebrated your birthday properly, and I haven't bought you a present." Auntie." Su Qing-sang couldn't help but hold Xiang Kaiping's hands. "It's all in the past. The way things are now is pretty good." Xiang Kaiping's lips moved. She wanted to say something, but she felt that whatever she said would be useless. Finally, she pointed at the box. "Take a look and see if you like it." Su Qing-sang opened the gift. It was a set of jewelry. Necklace, earrings, rings. The diamond wasn't particularly big, and it couldn't compare to the one that Hu Jinyao had sold for tens of millions of yuan. But it was small and exquisite, looking very elegant. She could tell that Xiang Kaiping had put a lot of thought into this gift. "Thank you, Auntie. I like it very much. It's good that you like it, as long as you like it." As Xiang Kaiping spoke, she took out another velvet box. "This is my wedding present for you. According to the rules of Lin City, when a girl gets married, her mother has to give her gold jewelry. I wasn't there when you got married. This is the perfect time to make up for it." Su Qing-sang looked at the box and felt her nose sting. "Actually, you don't have to." Of course, of course." Xiang Kaiping smiled and tried to please her. "I'm afraid this young man won't even wear it. But it was just for a festive and auspicious occasion. I hope you won't mind." "How could that be? I like it very much." "Thank you, Auntie." This was Xiang Kaiping's kind gesture. Su Qing-sang could only feel grateful. How could she dislike it? The atmosphere during the meal was very good. Su Qing-sang watched as Xiang Kaiping kept putting food in her bowl with a guilty look on her face. Her mood was a little complicated, thinking about the decision he made this morning. She casually scooped a bowl of soup for Xiang Kaiping and said, "Mom, this soup is good. It's good for your skin. Drink more. All right. Xiang Kaiping nodded. Suddenly, her hand that was holding the chopsticks trembled. What did you call me? Hua Jinyao had already guessed that such a day would come, so he wasn't surprised at all. Su Qingsang picked up some food for Xiang Kaiping and said, Mom, you eat. Xiang Kaiping's eyes reddened, and her hands trembled. Su Qingsang was also a little uncomfortable. Although it didn't seem to take much time to take that step, she knew that Xiang Kaiping was really trying to make it up to her. She wasn't entirely at fault for what happened back then. Su Qingsang wasn't a hard-hearted person. She had seen Xiang Kaiping's care for her during this period of time. Chapter 319. Mom, let's eat. It won't be good if the food gets cold. Xiang Kaiping was now sure that Su Qingsang had accepted her. The corners of her eyes were wet. Hua Jinyao saw her like that and also spoke. Mom, today is Qingsang's birthday. We should be happy. Yes, I'm happy. Xiang Kaiping rubbed the corners of her eyes and looked at Su Qingsang with relief. Not only had she accepted her daughter, but she had also accepted her son-in-law. She was very excited and couldn't calm down at all. Although she tried her best to control it, the red corners of her eyes still revealed her current emotions. I'll go to the bathroom. Xiang Kaiping got up and left in a hurry. Hua Jinyao didn't have time to remind her that there was a bathroom in the private room. In a private room not far away, Su Changhui was being toasted by two business partners. Boss Su, you guys are great now. But don't forget small companies like us. Yes. We should make money together. It's good that everyone gets rich together. Yes. The group of people couldn't curry favor with Hua Jinyao, but they tried their best to get in touch with Su Chenghui. This time, Tianyu Group was making a big move. Not only the Li family, but the Chiu family and two other good families were also partners of Tianyu Group. However, those of lower status than these families didn't even get to drink soup, not to mention meat. The group of people wanted to get in touch with Hua Jinyao and then get in touch with him. But Hua Jinyao didn't want to see them at all. Now that they saw Su Chenghui, they naturally tried to curry favor with him. Su Chenghui didn't compliment this group of people like he used to. He was a little lost in thought. When they mentioned Hua Jinyao, he was also thinking about this son-in-law. This Hua Jinyao. Yesterday, Qiu Junjiu only drank a glass of wine to Su Qingsang. That morning, Hua Jinyao gave Su Changhui a project that was originally in charge of the Qiu family. The reason was obvious. Hua Jinyao was avenging Su Qingsang. After Su Peijian's incident, Su Peijian and the Su family had a good attitude. Taking a step back, wasn't it because Su Yusin helped Su Qingsang at the banquet yesterday? Their company has a new project, but he is not happy at all. He never knew that Hua Jinyao, as the CEO of a large corporation, could be so casual. He was so casual that it made him gnash his teeth. Su Chenghui rubbed the space between his eyebrows, and his smile stiffened. I'm going out to make a call. Do as you please. After leaving the private room, Su Chenghui didn't really want to make a call. His hand went to his pocket, and he wanted to take out a cigarette to smoke. Then he remembered that he had quit smoking for many years. Just as he was about to return to his private room, he caught sight of a figure not too far away from him. The existence of that figure stunned him. When Xiang Kaiping came out, she remembered that she had ordered a cake and left it at the front desk as a surprise for Su Qingsang. She personally brought the cake over, thinking that today was the first day she was celebrating her daughter's birthday with her. She was very excited. She walked towards the private room with the cake in her hand. When she was less than 3 meters away from the door, she suddenly heard a familiar voice. Kaiping, is that you? Xiang Kaiping was stunned. She almost dropped the cake in her hand. Before she could react, the voice behind her increased in pitch. Chapter 320. When Xiang Kaiping saw the familiar face that appeared in front of her, which was almost exactly the same as the face in her memory, she was completely stunned. The cake in her hand fell to the ground. The smacking sound didn't make her come back to her senses. She just stared at Su Chenghui in a daze. Su Chenghui also looked at Xiang Kaiping. Compared to his 20 years of pampered life, Xiang Kaiping had obviously gone through more ups and downs. She had aged a lot and was no longer as gentle and beautiful as she was when she was young. But he still recognized her at a glance. In addition to shock, there was more sadness in his eyes. Kaiping? Kaiping? How did you become like this? They had been separated for too long. In Su Qinghui's heart, even though Xiang Kaiping's facial features were blurred, he still remembered her most beautiful appearance. His words brought Xiang Kaiping back to her senses. She looked at the man in front of her, whom she had loved and thought about all her life. The corners of her lips curled helplessly, revealing a bitter smile. Yes, I become like this. When she returned to Lin City, she already knew that she would meet Su Chenghui sooner or later. But she always felt that that day would not come so soon. She always felt that when that day came, she must have made all the preparations. But she didn't expect that day to come so soon and so unexpectedly. She originally wanted to leave quickly and escape, but now she couldn't escape. She stood there and stared at Su Chenghui. I'm already old. 5 simple words made Su Chenghui almost unable to stand. His hands, which were hanging by his side, were trembling. Yes, Xiang Kaiping was old. She was completely different from 20 years ago. She had changed so much that he almost didn't dare to recognize her. Kaiping, you. Su Chenghui tried his best to control himself, but he still didn't dare to look at Xiang Kaiping's face. He was afraid that he wouldn't be able to control himself. Where have you been all these years? Have you had a good life? Good or not good? But these 2 answers were difficult to explain. Xiang Kaiping shook her head. It's all in the past. It's all in the past. How could it not be difficult for a woman to do business alone? How could it be good? However, things had changed in the past, so there was no need to bring it up again. She didn't say it, but Su Chenghui knew that it was difficult. He felt a lump in his throat. Why? Why didn't you come to me? I'll look for you. I looked everywhere for you. So what if we find it? Xiang Kaiping retorted. You're already married and have children. What would you do if you found me? Su Chenghui was speechless. At this moment, he couldn't say a word. That was right. In the past 20 years, even if he had gone to look for Xiang Kaiping, he only wanted to know if she was doing well. But even if he had found her, what could he do? He was Su Chenghui, Li Qianchue's husband. He was the general manager of the Li Corporation. Su Chenghui's eyes felt even more sore than before. He took a step forward and stood in front of Xiang Kaiping. Kaiping, listen to me. I can, don't say it. Xiang Kaiping knew what he was going to say. Chenghui, don't say anything you can't do. 20 years ago, he couldn't. 20 years later, she didn't believe that he could do it. Su Chenghui, who had been in the business world for a long time, understood what she meant. He was stunned. Yes, he still had the same concerns back then. Not only did he have them, but he also had more concerns. Kaiping, Mom? Chapter 3:21. Su Chenghui froze for a moment and quickly turned his face. He realized that it was Su Qingsang. He was stunned and watched in a daze as she walked towards Xiang Kaiping. Mom. After Su Qingsang called Xiang Kaiping, she glanced at Su Chenghui. Dad, why was he here? Why are you here? Su Chenghui looked even more surprised than her. He looked at her and then at Xiang Kaiping. Chenghui, let bygones be bygones. Now I'm very satisfied. Xiang Kaiping looked at Su Qingsang as she spoke. Her hands were clasped together, and she seemed to be at a loss. Qingsang, I wanted to get you a cake. This isn't. Su Qingsang saw just now, and she also saw Su Chenghui. She didn't expect to run into Su Chenghui when she was just out for a meal. She looked at the 2 people in front of her, who had different expressions on their faces, and then looked at the cake on the floor. It's okay. The box is quite thick. It doesn't look broken. Su Qingsang went forward and picked up the cake again. She looked at Xiang Kaiping again. Mom. Su Chenghui only saw the cake now and remembered. Qingsang, is today your birthday? When Su Qingsang was facing Su Chenghui, she was not as close and comfortable as she was with Xiang Kaiping. Yes, today is my birthday. Su Chenghui suddenly stood there, because he saw Xiang Saiping's eyes full of shock and disbelief. He was speechless for a moment. "Mom." Su Qingsang sensed that the atmosphere was not right. She raised the cake in her hand. "Jin Yao is probably still waiting for me. You guys go ahead and chat. I'll go in first." As she spoke, she glanced at Su Qinghui again and hurried in the direction of the private room. Xiang Kaiping hadn't recovered from the question just now. She stared at Su Chenghui, and the shock in her eyes slowly turned to disappointment. "You don't know that today is your daughter's birthday?" It was just one sentence, but Xiang Kaiping could already tell a lot from it. She thought about the family photo, about Su Changhui standing next to Li Qianxue with a faint smile on his face, about his children. She thought of Su Qingsang's birthday today. Only Hu Jinyao and Su Qingsang were here, and she saw the grand banquet in Su Yusin's photos, the scene of beautiful clothes and hair. It was her daughter's birthday, but it was cold and cheerless. How could Su Chenghui, her biological father, not even know his daughter's birthday? Kaiping. There was a flash of panic in Su Chenghui's eyes. He wanted to explain. Su Chenghui." Xiang Kaiping pursed her lips into a straight line. Her face, which was no longer young, was now filled with disappointment, blame, regret, and guilt. "I was wrong. I was really wrong. I should have brought her along. I should have carried her away. I shouldn't have given her to you." "Kaiping, listen to me." Xiang Kaiping didn't want to hear it. Today was her daughter's birthday. Today, Su Qingsang had just acknowledged her and called her mother. She was going to accompany her daughter now. "Kaiping." President Su, why did the call take so long?" At this time, someone in the private room came out to look for Su Chenghui. He seemed to be joking, but there was also a hint of flattery. For the first time in his life, Su Chenghui was tired of these social interactions. He glanced at that person coldly. That person was intimidated by Su Chenghui's aura and shrank back. Chapter 3:22. Su Chenghui blinked and quickly went through his thoughts. Then, he turned around and quickly headed in the direction of the private room, where Xiang Kaiping had disappeared. Xiang Saiping's eyes were slightly red when she entered the room. She is a clever woman. If she wasn't a smart woman, she wouldn't have been able to make a name for herself in a foreign country. But now, she hated herself for being so smart. A simple sentence revealed too much information. She suddenly felt a sharp pain in her heart. It was so painful that when she entered the room and saw Su Qingsang, her face was pale and the corners of her eyes were red. Su Qingsang and Hu Jinyao looked at each other. Su Qingsang had mentioned it to Hu Jinyao when she came in. Su Chenghui ran into Xiang Kaiping. Neither of them had expected that. Looking at Xiang Kaiping now, neither of them thought that it was Su Qingsang. They just thought that she was too excited to see Su Chenghui. "Mom." Su Qingsang looked at Xiang Kaiping worriedly. Hu Jinyao's eyes were unexpectedly deep at that moment. Unlike Su Qingsang's worries, he saw something else. Why did Xiang Kaiping look so guilty? He couldn't help but look at Su Qingsang again. As expected, Xiang Saiping's eyes fell on Su Qingsang from time to time. "I'm fine." Sensing Hu Jinyao's gaze, Xiang Kaiping shook her head. "Well, let's continue eating. Otherwise, the dishes will get cold." "Okay." Su Qingsang didn't ask further. Xiang Kaiping was her elder. If she wanted to say something, she would. However, before the three of them picked up their chopsticks to continue, Su Chenghui had already come uninvited. "Kaiping." Su Chenghui only looked at Kaiping when he came in. He had a lot to say, but when he saw Hu Jinyao and Su Qingsang sitting at the table, his words were stuck in his throat. Xiang Kaiping ignored him. Hu Jinyao and Su Qingsang stood up. Dad. Su Qingsang looked at Su Chenghui and then at Xiang Kaiping. She couldn't stand the weird atmosphere between the two of them. "Dad, have you eaten yet? Do you want to join us?" "Yeah. Ask the waiter to bring us 2 more dishes," Hu Jinyao said. Su Chenghui nodded and sat down beside Xiang Kaiping. "Kaiping." Xiang Kaiping turned her face away and ignored Su Chenghui. That coldness was filled with anger. Hu Jinyao narrowed his eyes and looked at Su Chenghui. Today was just a birthday celebration for the three of them. Su Qingsang sat in the middle, with Xiang Kaiping on her right and Hu Jinyao on her left. Su Chinghui came and sat next to Xiang Kaiping. Xiang Kaiping didn't look at Su Chinghui at all. Qing sang, "It's your birthday today. Don't let other people spoil the fun." Su Qing sang didn't say anything. She glanced at Su Chinghui. He was looking at Xiang Kaiping. When he heard what she said, his expression did not change. He only frowned slightly. The atmosphere was somewhat strange. Su Qing sang actually felt a little regretful. If he had known earlier, he would have celebrated at home. Qing sang, "Today is your birthday. I wish you a happy birthday." Su Chenghui was the first to break the awkward silence. He poured a glass of wine and raised it to Su Qing sang. His expression seemed calm, but upon closer inspection, there seemed to be a flash of anxiety in his eyes. "Thanks, Dad." Su Qing sang's voice was a little soft. Xiang Kaiping was as still as a mountain. Her clenched fists seemed to be constantly restraining herself. Seeing that, Hu Jinyao suddenly seemed to understand something. He looked at Xiang Kaiping and then at Su Chenghui. The corners of his lips curled up slightly. That smile was somewhat deliberate. Chapter 323. Hearing that, Xiang Caiping's expression changed again. Su Qingxing couldn't help but look at Hu Jinyao. What was he doing? Was he helping her? Su Chinghui looked embarrassed. He was still holding the wine glass in his hand. He was already an old fox in the business world, but he couldn't sit still. Qing sang, "I came in a hurry today and forgot to bring a gift. I'll make it up for you next time." He was a little uncomfortable and spoke very slowly. In fact, he really forgot that it was Su Qingsang's birthday today. For so many years, he had been used to ignoring Su Qingsang. Why would he remember her birthday? Xiang Kaiping suddenly stood up in excitement and grabbed Su Chinghui's arm. Su Chinghui didn't expect her action, and the wine in his hand spilled. He quickly put down the wine glass. "Get out. Go. Don't stay here. I don't want you here." She kept pushing Su Chenghui outside. Su Chenghui looked at Xiang Caiping's face and said anxiously, "Kaiping, don't be like this. I can explain, I really can. I don't want to hear it. Get out." For more than 20 years, he neglected her daughter and didn't even know her birthday. Why did she want him? She had long given up hope. She should have known. People were fickle. How could Su Chenghui still be the same Su Chenghui? She pushed Su Chenghui so hard that he was unprepared. He was pushed to the door by Xiang Kaiping. She reached out to open the door and push him out, but the door opened first. I'm sorry. I'm late. That customer was really annoying. It took me a long time to get rid of him." Shi Mingwan apologized as soon as she opened the door, but she was stunned halfway through. She looked at the situation in front of her. What was going on? She blinked. She was still holding a box in her hand. She looked at Xiang Kaiping and Su Qingsang with her eyes, asking Su Qingsang what was going on. Hu Jinyao's lips curled up. He knew what was going on. Su Qingsang was confused. She really didn't understand why Xiang Kaiping would suddenly lose her temper. She never thought that it was her. Seeing Shi Mingwan, she stood up as if she had found the key to opening the door. "Mingwan, you're here?" "Yes. Happy birthday." Shi Mingwan raised the box in her hand. "Sorry, I should have come earlier." She said the last few words a little slowly, and her eyes inadvertently swept over Xiang Kaiping again. "Hello, Andy." Xiang Kaiping, who had been pushing Su Chenghui away, put down her hand. She touched her hair uncomfortably and said, "Mingwan is here? You're very considerate. Come on, the dishes are getting cold." Yes. I thought you weren't coming." Su Qingsang hurriedly tried to smooth things over. At the same time, she looked at Su Chenghui. "Let's eat then." Hu Jinyao glanced at Su Chenghui, then got up and went out for a while. Soon he came back. The group of people with different thoughts sat down at another table in this strange atmosphere. After sitting down, Shi Mingwan kept blinking at Su Qingsang, wanting to ask what was going on. Why was Su Chenghui here? Su Qingsang shook her head at her almost imperceptibly, so Shi Mingwan stopped asking. Chapter 324. Xiang Kaiping didn't say anything. so Su Qing-sang had to step forward to smooth things over. With her around and Shermeng Wan, the atmosphere wasn't cold anymore. Xiang Kaiping gave Su Qing-sang face, so she smiled brightly when she saw Su Qing-sang. Su Qinghui kept looking at her. Several times, he wanted to say something, but in the end, he couldn't say a word. The meal ended in such an awkward situation. After dinner, since Shermeng Wan was also there, she suggested going to karaoke. In the past, on Su Qing-sang's birthday, the two of them would spend the whole night in KTV. However, Xiang Kaiping was there today, so Su Qing-sang could only ask Xiang Kaiping if she wanted to go. Go. Since you guys go every year, you should go this year too. There was one near Chowan Courtyard. Shermeng Wan had already booked a seat. The group of people moved to the KTV. Su Qinghui followed her and tried to talk to her, but she ignored him. The atmosphere between the two of them was really awkward. After Su Qing-sang and Shermeng Wan released a few songs, the atmosphere finally lightened up a little. Xiang Kaiping said that she was too old to sing, so she would listen to them. Su Chenghui tried to sit next to her, but Xiang Kaiping immediately stood up and sat next to Su Qing-sang as soon as he approached. After doing this twice, Su Chenghui finally sat in the corner and stopped moving. Because of the behavior of the two elders, Su Qing-sang could only suggest that they go home first. Hua Jinyao didn't comment. Su Chenghui followed Xiang Kaiping and tried to get her into his car, but Xiang Kaiping ignored him. He got into Hua Jinyao's car. Su Chenghui wanted to go forward, but Hua Jinyao blocked his way. Dad, since Mom doesn't want to see you today, why don't you give her some time to calm down? Su Chenghui glared at Hua Jinyao. For the first time, he sounded angry. What do you know? Get out of the way. Dad, Hua Jinyao's attitude didn't change. There was even a faint smile on his face. I really don't know anything, but it's getting late. Maybe next time. Seeing that Su Chenghui didn't want to give up, the smile on Hua Jinyao's face faded a little. Today is Qing Sang's birthday. Dad, it's better if you talk to Mom next time. Su Chenghui stood still. At last, he stared at Hua Jinyao, nodded, and left reluctantly. After Su Chenghui left, Shermeng Wan didn't linger. She waved at Su Qing-sang and left as well. Hua Jinyao drove Su Qing-sang and Xiang Kaiping home. Xiang Kaiping looked at Su Qing-sang, wanting to say something but hesitating. Qing-sang, Mom, you must be tired today. Go back to your room and rest. That night, Su Qing-sang had a rough idea of what Xiang Kaiping was angry about. However, she couldn't comfort him even if she wanted to. Qing-sang, Xiang Kaiping had a lot to say. Su Qing-sang couldn't help but give her a hug. Mom, you don't have to say anything. I know everything. I'm fine. The way I am right now is pretty good. It would have been better if she hadn't said anything. The more she spoke, the more Xiang Kaiping blamed herself. Looking at Su Qing-sang's overly calm face, he knew that she had long been used to this kind of neglect. The tip of her nose was a little sour. She nodded hard, turned around, and quickly went back to her room. Su Qing-sang looked at her back and turned to face Hua Jinyao. What's wrong? Hua Jinyao noticed that she didn't look well. Are you unhappy? Are you angry too? Chapter 325. She was an illegitimate daughter, and Su Chenghui married Li Qianxue. If he didn't ignore her, would he treat her well? If that was the case, her position in the Su family might be even more awkward. Li Qianxue's dislike and Su Peijian and her brother's difficulties might be too much for her to bear. I don't think your mother reacted too much today. I think your father was strange today. Those emotions weren't the emotions of seeing a long-lost lover. Hua Jinyao thought about Su Qinghui's behavior today. He had an inexplicable feeling that something was wrong, but he couldn't figure out what it was. What's wrong? Su Qing-sang didn't notice it. She wasn't close to Su Chenghui. I haven't seen my mother for decades. It's normal to be emotional when she suddenly sees her. No, it wasn't that kind of emotion. Although Hua Jinyao was young, he had dealt with all kinds of people over the years. He could still distinguish Su Qinghui's eyes. Then what do you think is wrong? Su Qing-sang thought for a long time, but didn't find anything wrong. Okay, maybe I'm thinking too much. Working in the business world every day and scheming seemed to have made her mind not pure. You're thinking too much. Su Qinghui's expression suddenly changed. I'm actually a little worried now. Worried about what? I thought that my father would never find out that my mother is back. But now, not only did he find out, but he also ran into her. Looking at his behavior today, I think he might cause some trouble. The peace of the Su family in the past decades is probably going to be broken. What followed was the possibility that her peace would also be broken. Su Qingsang didn't like that feeling. What's there to worry about? Hua Jinyao pulled her body into his arms. When the time comes, I'll take you and our mother back to Rome City. You're not in Lin City, and they won't bother you. Su Qingsang looked at him and seriously considered the feasibility of his words for the first time. That's fine. My mother is used to living in Rome City anyway. I think she won't have any problems adapting. Honey, Hua Jinyao suddenly covered his chest with an uncomfortable expression. My heart hurts. What's wrong? Su Qingsang suddenly became a little nervous because of his expression. Are you okay? My heart really hurts. I've asked you so many times to come to Rome City with me, but you refused. Now that I'm leaving with your mother, you're finally willing. Honey, don't you think you're treating me too badly? How can this be the same? Su Qingsang was about to lose to him. How is it different? Hua Jinyao put his arms around her waist. I don't care. I'm sad anyway. You have to make it up to me. How do you want me to make it up to you? Su Qingsang looked at him, knowing that he was going to make some outrageous demands again. Come, let's go out for a while. As Hua Jinyao spoke, he suddenly took her hand and led her outside. So late. It was almost 11 o'clock. Let's go. Hua Jinyao didn't give her a chance to refuse and pulled her out of the door. Su Qingsang didn't know what he was up to, but she still followed behind him. The two of them went downstairs. They didn't drive, but crossed the road and went to a park across the neighborhood. Su Qingsang had been here once before, but it was late at night. What did Hua Jinyao want to do? Hua Jinyao. Chapter 326. Su Qingsang let Hua Jinyao hold her hand and walked all the way to the center of the park. There was a man-made lake there. The lake was very big. In the past, there used to be boats on it, but now it was a little cold. The wind blew, and Su Qingsang felt cold. Hua Jinyao put his arms around her shoulders and looked at Su Qingsang under the night sky. There were only small lights on the ground in the park. The whole environment looked mysterious and hazy. Honey, today is your birthday. You haven't made a wish yet. She really hadn't made a wish. When she was cutting the cake, she was thinking about Su Changhui and Xiang Kaiping. Come on, now close your eyes and make a wish. Hua Jinyao suddenly reached out and covered her eyes. Su Qingsang's eyes were dark. The only thing she could feel was Hua Jinyao's warm palm. Make a wish? Just as the wish flashed through her mind, she heard a sudden loud noise. Su Qingsang jumped. At the same time, Hua Jinyao let go of her hand. In the middle of the lake, there were a few boats. The fireworks on the boats were rising into the sky one by one. Su Qingsang's eyes widened. She turned around and looked at Hua Jinyao in shock. You look? Hua Jinyao turned her head to look at the sky. Su Qingsang saw it clearly now. After the first 3 fireworks exploded, the shapes of the fireworks turned into hearts one after another. There were a total of 25. It was the number of her birthday. After the heart, there was a big love. On the other side of the lake, there were also fireworks. The last one to rise into the sky was an S, and the words, Happy Birthday. Su Qingsang covered her mouth tightly to prevent herself from screaming. It wasn't that she hadn't seen fireworks in her life, but this was the first time that a sky full of fireworks was set off just for her. Hua Jinyao leaned close to her ear and put his arms around her waist. It's not 12 yet. This is my birthday present for you. Do you like it? Su Qingsang couldn't say anything. She could only nod hard. Her eyes were a little swollen and red. Her nose was sore, and she had an inexplicable urge to cry. Hua Jinyao had been preparing for her birthday since the day before yesterday. She knew very well that he must have prepared this a long time ago. Hua Jinyao, thank you. Silly girl. Hua Jinyao looked at her blushing face under the smoke and turned her around. He lowered his head and kissed her lips. Su Qing-sang put her arms around his neck. Under the light of the fireworks, his face was handsome. She saw her own reflection in his eyes. She wanted to cry, but she also wanted to laugh. She could not resist giving him more and more passionate kisses. This was the first time someone had spent so much effort to celebrate her birthday. She hugged him tightly and let him shield her from the cold winter wind. The fireworks continued. Hua Jinyao let go of her and pressed his forehead against hers. She felt his breath on her face, and there was a faint smile in her eyes. Su Qing-sang smiled, tiptoed, and kissed him on the cheek. Then, she buried her face in Hua Jinyao's chest, and her eyes fell on the still, sparkling fireworks across from her. Listening to his steady heartbeat and feeling his warm and thick chest, Su Qing-sang felt that she was surrounded by a great sense of satisfaction and happiness. She suddenly raised her head to look at him. Her clear eyes looked even more dazzling under the fireworks. Chapter 327. Hua Jinyao's lips curled up because of her words. It was obvious that he was in a good mood. Hua Jinyao, I like you. Su Qing-sang said again. Hua Jinyao picked her up and kissed her lips again. Their lips touched, and it was indescribably lingering. When Su Qing-sang had difficulty breathing and her legs were weak, and she had to cling to him, he finally let go of her. Me too. His deep voice responded with 3 simple words. Su Qing-sang wanted to laugh again. She buried her head in Hua Jinyao's arms and tightened her arms around his waist. The fireworks slowly dimmed, and the park was quiet again. Su Qing-sang looked at Hua Jinyao. Did you get up early to prepare? That was why she didn't see him when she got up in the morning. What do you think? Hua Jinyao got up early in the morning and prepared 2 birthday gifts for Su Qing-sang. One was to transfer a project that he had decided to give to the Qiu family, to the Li family, and to Su Changwei. He wanted to teach the Qiu family a little lesson for Su Qing-sang and let them know. In the future, no one in Lin City could touch Su Qing-sang. Anyone who touched her would be going against him. The other was the fireworks in front of him. He could give her jewelry and other things like that on a normal day. Of course, his birthday had to be different. Hua Jinyao, thank you. Hua Jinyao looked into her eyes and lowered his head to her ear. Compared to thank you, I prefer what you just said. Su Qing-sang blushed a little, but Hua Jinyao suddenly took her hand and walked back. Let's go home. Tell me slowly when we get home. Su Qing-sang blushed even more. Her face didn't feel cold anymore. Not only was it not cold, but it was also a little hot. Hua Jinyao saw her shy little face from the corner of his eye. He suddenly squatted down and said, Come, get up. What are you doing? I'll carry you back. Stop it. Su Qing-sang blushed. I can walk by myself. You come up. I'll carry you or carry you. You choose. Hua Jinyao, I said come up. Hua Jinyao turned his face and looked at her. Hurry up. Su Qing-sang looked around. It was the middle of the night, and there was basically no one here. After hesitating for a few seconds, she jumped onto Hua Jinyao's back. Hua Jinyao easily carried her on his back and walked back. Su Qing-sang lay on Hua Jinyao's back and stared at him, sticking close to his back. Hua Jinyao, you, why are you so nice to me? What? Nothing, I just wanted to call you. Don't worry, I'll let you scream to your heart's content later. Su Qing-sang stopped screaming. As they spoke, they had already walked out of the park. The streetlights cast long shadows on them. Su Qing-sang looked at the shadows of the two of them. For a moment, she wished that there was no end to this road and that they could keep walking like this. Her heart fluttering, she suddenly leaned over and kissed him on the neck. Hua Jinyao's body instantly stiffened. He turned to look at Su Qing-sang and said, Wait for me. We'll be home soon. Su Qing-sang immediately cowered and retracted her face. Hua Jinyao picked up his pace with her on his back. Su Qing-sang's legs were still weak when she woke up in the morning. She almost couldn't stand the moment she got off the bed. She muttered in a low voice, but there wasn't much displeasure on her face. After washing up, she went out of the room and found that Hua Jinyao had already gone to work. Xiang Kaiping saw her come out and immediately brought breakfast out. Morning, Mom. Su Qing didn't have to walk closer to see the obvious dark shadows under Xiang Caiping's eyes. It seemed that she didn't sleep well last night. Chapter 328. I'm fine. What could possibly happen to Mom? Xiang Kaiping looked at Su Qing and asked her to have breakfast first. Jin Yao has something to do at the company this morning. That's why I didn't wait for you to eat together. Su Qing nodded. She seemed to feel it when Jin Yao got up in the morning, but she was too sleepy, so she went back to sleep. Sometimes, she really envied Jin Yao's physical strength. No matter what time he slept the night before or how many times he came, he would still be full of energy the next morning. Let's eat. Xiang Kaiping brought the breakfast out. Su Qing walked closer and found that Xiang Kaiping not only had dark circles under her eyes, but her eyes were also a little swollen. Did Xiang Kaiping cry last night? That was possible. The sudden encounter with Su Changhui must have been a great shock to her, so it was normal for her to not be able to sleep well. Seeing her like this, Su Qing felt sorry for her, but at the same time, she felt a little conflicted. After finishing most of the porridge in front of her, Su Qing looked at Xiang Kaiping tentatively. Do you want to go back to Rong City? Back to Rong City? Xiang Caiping's expression changed instantly. You want Mom to go back to Rong City? I don't want you to go back. I want us to go together. Su Qing was afraid that she would misunderstand, so she quickly explained. Jin Yao actually mentioned to me before that he wanted me to go to Rong City with him. But I work here, and I have no other relatives or friends in Rong City. So I'm not very willing, but if you don't want to stay in Lin City, then we can go back to Rong City. Jin Yao is also from Rong City. Xiang Kaiping heaved a sigh of relief when she realized that she wasn't trying to chase her away. I'm fine. Qing, I acknowledge you. For now on, I'll be wherever you are. Su Qing nodded, knowing that this was actually the best result. She lowered her head and continued to eat. In the end, she didn't ask about Su Changhui again. Whether Xiang Kaiping was willing or not, it was a fact that Su Changhui was already married. It was impossible for them to be together now. Since that was the case, why should they stay and see each other from time to time and increase the sadness? After lunch, Su Qing picked up her bag and went to work. Before she left, she looked at Xiang Kaiping and said, Mom, if you feel bored at home, go out for a walk. It's okay, I'm not bored. Xiang Kaiping looked at Su Qing. I bought wool yesterday. I was thinking of knitting a sweater for you. Mom, if you have nothing to do, you can watch TV or take a walk outside. If you have nothing to do, you can go to the neighborhood downstairs and dance with the other aunties and uncles. Don't overwork yourself. Don't worry, I won't be tired. I just can't stay idle. In fact, when she was in Rong City, she could sit at home alone for a day. But now that she had a daughter, she always felt that it was not enough to do anything for Su Qing. Okay, I'll go to work first. After Su Qing left, Xiang Kaiping cleared the table. In fact, Jin Yao had mentioned this a few times. He had asked a part-time worker or a nanny to clean up, but he didn't let her do it. However, in the past 20 years, Xiang Kaiping had done everything for her daughter. Now that she could do something for her daughter, she was so happy. How could she feel tired? Just as she was about to take out the wool, the doorbell rang. When she saw Su Changhui standing outside, Xiang Kaiping wanted to close the door without hesitation. However, Su Changhui was one step faster than her. He blocked her movement and squeezed through the door. When Xiang Kaiping saw Su Changhui, she was furious. She opened the door and forcefully pushed Su Changhui out. Chapter 329. Leave. Xiang Kaiping tried to push Su Changhui a few times, but he didn't budge. Kaiping, don't be like this. Calm down. Su Changhui wouldn't leave. He stubbornly squeezed through the door and closed it. Xiang Kaiping tried to push Su Changhui out, but he didn't budge. Seeing him come in, the anger on her face became more obvious. Get out, get out. This is your daughter's house. You're not welcome here. Kaiping. Su Changhui's lips moved. He wanted to explain, But when he saw Siping's expression, he swallowed his words. Calm down. Give me a few minutes. Let me finish what I want to say. I have nothing to say to you. Xiang Kaiping didn't dare to think about it. Su Qingsang had suffered so much in the years she wasn't by her side. Her heart ached when she thought about it. The more her heart ached, the more she hated Su Chenghui. Kaiping. Su Qinghui's voice was tired. He didn't go home yesterday. He stayed in the company. He didn't sleep all night, so he looked extremely haggard. Can you calm down? 20 years had passed, and so much had changed. The gentle little woman in his memory became old and sharp at the same time. Xiang Kaiping took a deep breath and turned to look at Su Chenghui. I'm very calm. If I wasn't, I would want to kill you right now. Su Chenghui suddenly smiled. It was a bitter smile. Kaiping, do you know? His eyes fell on the sweater on the sofa, which looked like it had just been knitted. Su Chenghui's voice suddenly stopped. The white wool couldn't have been knitted by Xiang Kaiping for herself. It could only be for Su Qingsang. He closed his eyes. Are you knitting a sweater for Qingsang? What else? Xiang Kaiping looked at him coldly. Qingsang doesn't have a father who cares about her. As her mother, I have to care about her. Qingsang. Su Chenghui looked at Xiang Kaiping and his lips moved a few times. She actually doesn't. What are you trying to say? Xiang Kaiping hated Su Chenghui's attitude the most. You want to say that she doesn't need my care? Or do I not need your concern? Su Chenghui, are you even human? Su Chenghui looked exhausted. Looking at Kaiping, he suddenly smiled. Yes, I'm not human. I'm not human. I'm not a human. He said 3 sentences in a row and took a step back. I'm not human. I abandoned you for my future, for myself. I'm not human. I did it for. He suddenly couldn't continue. He waved his hand. She exuded a sense of helplessness. Kaiping, you really don't have to be too nice to Qingsang. She, Su Chenghui. Xiang Kaiping was furious. She didn't expect Su Chenghui to say something like that at a time like this. I must have been blind to believe you, to believe that you would treat my daughter well. I trust that you will treat my daughter well. I must have lost my mind to hand my daughter over to you. I must have thought that you would protect her, take care of her, and let her live a happy life. Why am I so stupid? How could I believe you? You've already betrayed me once. Why should I trust you? Chapter 330. At this point, Xiang Siping's voice sounded like she was about to cry. Her eyes were red, and she was so overwhelmed with emotions that she couldn't control herself. You betrayed me, you hurt me, and I endured all of that. I understand the situation you were in. I understand all, but you shouldn't have treated my daughter like this. If you didn't want to, you could have abandoned her. If you didn't want her, I would have taken her away. I would have taken good care of her. I would. Xiang Kaiping couldn't continue. Su Chenghui's attitude had revealed too many problems. She pointed at the gate. Su Chenghui, get out. Get out of here before I do anything to kill you. I'm telling you, I will never forgive you. Never. Su Chenghui looked at Xiang Kaiping. He had a lot to say, but he held it in. There was no need to say more. There was really no need to say more. Kaiping, one day, you will understand that everything I do is for you. For our child. Get out. Xiang Kaiping was so angry that her head was starting to hurt. Get out. Su Chenghui's lips were pressed into a straight line. He was still elegant and graceful, but there was endless exhaustion in his eyes. He turned to leave, stumbling a little. Before he left, he looked at the ball of white wool and clenched his fist by his side. He was right, he thought. He couldn't be wrong. He walked away, his steps more determined than before. After he left, Xiang Siping's body went limp and she sat on the ground. How did the man she had truly loved become like this? Was Su Chenghui really the man she had loved? Qiu Junjiu was still sleeping, but Qiu Yanba pulled her up. Get up, brother. Qiu Junjiu was still asleep. She turned over and wanted to go back to sleep. Qiu Yanba didn't give her the chance. He pulled her up forcefully. Qiu Junjiu, wake up. Tell me, what did you do at the Su family's party the day before yesterday? Qiu Yanba hadn't gone to Su Peijian's birthday party. After all, he had broken off his engagement with Su Peijian, so it wasn't appropriate for him to go. Moreover, Su Peijian knew about his feelings. It would be awkward if they met again. It just so happened that the Cho family had a business deal to discuss in Harbor City. So Qiu Yanba went on a business trip. Last night, when she came back, she had wanted to talk to Hui Jinyao about the project that she had previously set. When she arrived at the company, she heard that Hui Jinyao had given the project to Su Chenghui. In terms of strength, the Cho family was not inferior to the Su family in the slightest. Moreover, they had previously agreed that the Cho family would be in charge of this project. Qiu Yanba didn't know what went wrong, so he contacted Hui Jinyao immediately. Hui Jinyao only said, "Why did I do this? Why don't you ask your good sister?" Qiu Yanba didn't even make a phone call and went straight home. Qiu Junjio, explain yourself. What did you do during Su Peijian's birthday party? Qiu Junjio was no longer sleepy because of Qiu Yanba. She sat up angrily and said, "What can I do? What do I have to do? Aren't you my brother? Why are you throwing a tantrum at me as soon as you come back?" Qiu Yanba stared at Qiu Junjio's face and suddenly thought of something. "Don't tell me you touched Su Qingsang. Who touched her?" Qiu Junjio was furious at the mention of this. "All I did was pour a glass of wine on her. Why don't you ask her what she did to me?" Chapter 331. Qiu Yanba raised his arm and was about to slap Qiu Junjio. Qiu Junjio blushed at his action. "Qiu Yanba, are you my brother? Who are you helping? Your sister was wronged, but you didn't stand up for me. Now you want to hit me? I'm going to tell Dad. Are you done?" Qiu Yanba was furious, but he didn't slap Su Qingsang. "Do you know that Hui Jinyao gave the Su family a project that our company had previously negotiated with him? Do you know how much that project cost? Do you know how much our company lost because of that glass of wine?" Qiu Junjio was dumbfounded. She looked at Qiu Yanba and couldn't believe what he said. "Is Hui Jinyao crazy? How is that possible? I'm just..." She suddenly lifted the quilt and was about to get out of bed. "I'm going to look for him." "What are you looking for? What's the point of looking for him?" Qiu Yanba grabbed her arm. "I'm telling you, next time, stay away from Su Qingsang. Brother, get this straight. She bullied me too." Qiu Junjio was furious. Qiu Yanba didn't want to reason with her. He raised his hand and made a one sign. "Just this once. Don't do it again." He had to go back to the company to deal with the aftermath. Looking at his sister, Qiu Yanba was really angry. Why couldn't she be more sensible and cause less trouble like Su Qingsang? Qiu Junjio watched her brother leave. Not only did she not calm down, but she became even angrier. She punched the quilt angrily and decided that she couldn't just let it go like this. When Su Qingsang got home, she found that Xiang Caiping's eyes were even more swollen than when she left the house. She was shocked and wanted to ask Xiang Caiping, but Xiang Caiping didn't seem to want to talk about it. Su Qingsang didn't ask. After dinner, Su Qingsang sat with Xiang Caiping for most of the day. She watched her knitting a sweater. She was very fast. In just a day's time, he had already finished knitting the bottom circle. "Mom, you're so fast." "Fast." Xiang Caiping picked it up and compared it with Su Qingsang. "I'm old. I used to move faster. It's okay. I have clothes." Su Qingsang glanced at the direction of the room. "Hui Jinyao bought a lot of clothes last time. He's so nice to you." "Yes." Su Qingsang nodded. Thinking of the fireworks yesterday, she still felt very happy. "Aren't you going to write that thesis?" "You can go. I'll watch TV here and knit. Then don't stay up too late. Rest early." "Okay." Xiang Caiping looked at Su Qingsang and sighed inwardly. His daughter was so sensible and obedient. However, Su Chenghui treated her like this. Su Qingsang left the living room but didn't go to the study. Instead, she went back to her bedroom. Hui Jinyao had already finished showering and was drying his hair. When he saw her come in, he sat down beside her and said, "Aren't you watching TV with Mom?" Su Qingsang shook her head. "Hui Jinyao, why do I feel that Mom's mood today is even worse than this morning?" She really wanted to ask what had happened. However, seeing that Xiang Caiping did not want to talk about it, she could not bring herself to ask. It's normal for her to be in a bad mood. Because your father came to see her. How do you know? Chapter 332. I beg you. You can tell me now. Su Qing begged him, but Hu Jinyao shook his head. Not sincere enough. I won't say it. Hu Jinyao. Look, this is not the attitude of begging. As Hu Jinyao spoke, he turned around to get the hairdryer. It's up to you. Do you think I don't know? Su Qing's temper flared up. My father came to see my mother. Of course, not to divorce her and marry her. So, why is my mother so sad? There's only one reason. What? Because of me. After saying these 3 words, Su Qing fell silent. Hu Jinyao couldn't bear to see her like this. He put the hairdryer in her hand and said, "Help me dry my hair." Meeting his understanding gaze, Su Qing stood up, pulled Hu Jinyao to sit down in front of the dressing table, turned on the hairdryer, and began to dry his hair. Her movements were very gentle, and so was her voice. Hu Jinyao could hear her very clearly in the low sound of the hairdryer. I actually understand what happened yesterday. My mother always felt that she owed me. She always felt that I hadn't lived a good life all these years. And looking at my father's attitude, she definitely couldn't stand it. I think my father must have gone to my mother to explain today, but my mother wouldn't listen. And she blamed him for neglecting me all these years. My mother probably thought too much of me. So, she was sad for me. After saying this, she fell silent and focused on drying Hu Jinyao's hair. Hu Jinyao's hair had already been dried. He turned to look at her, suddenly took the hairdryer from her hand, turned it off, and put it aside. Then, he pulled her body onto his lap and sat her down. I thought you didn't know. How is that possible? Su Qing shook her head. I think it's very simple. I can guess it. I thought you were going to say that it's because mother and daughter are connected that you know so well. It's really not. Su Qing shook her head again. I still don't have that kind of feeling for my mother. After all, we haven't lived together for so many years. But I know what happened to her, and I know that she wants me well now. I don't blame her, and I don't hate her. Hating people was too tiring. She didn't like hating people. What's more, she only lacked the love of her parents, which was much better than some orphans. Moreover, she had both parents now. Even without a father, she still had a mother. She suddenly put her arms around Hu Jinyao's neck and looked into his eyes. Hu Jinyao, let's be nicer to my mother in the future, okay? Okay. Hu Jinyao tightened his arms around her waist. Don't worry. Your mother is my mother. I will definitely be filial to her. Su Qing looked at him and suddenly leaned over to kiss him on the lips. Hu Jinyao. Su Qing rubbed her face against his chest and said, "It's so good to have you here." In fact, she knew a lot of things and understood a lot of principles. She could let go of many difficulties and unhappiness on her own. After all, after so many years, whether it was fair or not, he was already used to it. However, things were different now. She had Hu Jinyao by her side. With him around, it was as if all the unfairness and grievances in the past were nothing. She rubbed her face against his chest again and smelled the cool scent on his body. She only felt at ease. Hu Jinyao's chin rested on the top of her head. He smelled the faint fragrance on her body, and the corners of his lips curled up slightly. However, when he thought about what had happened in the past few days, his eyes suddenly narrowed. Honey, do you feel that there seems to be something wrong? You're tuning in to the Romance Rendezvous YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.